Hello there. Class is starting. Class is starting. Normally, in regular human normal class, they give you a 5 minute grace period. I know how long it takes you guys to get to where you guys need to be. So, yes, I'm calling y'all out. This is serious business, though. Y'all actually need to pay attention to class. This is serious. Hence the thumbnail and the everything else. Serious stuff, okay? I'll do my responsibility and be a good teacher and try to teach my best abilities. I've already done my research, hence what I've been spamming all day. Daddy's been doing his research. I've researched it. I've broke the codes. We've done all sorts of things. Let's get that looking nice while I wait on you guys to get to where y'all are supposed to be. Y'all supposed to be right here. Right here, right beside me. Okay, cool. Alright, yes. Live stream is running perfectly fine. Cool. Remember I told you transparency. I'm gonna be very transparent. I'm always transparent. I have no reason not to be transparent. Why did I make it a big rectangle? Okay. Alright. Let's do the outer. No, I don't like the outer. We like the inner. I really need to see my face. But, I mean, I like to see my face. Which I like to see y'all's face too. Since everybody can see everybody. Everybody sees everything that's going on. It's time not to be docile. Stop being docile, please. Please stop being docile. It's time to wake up, for real. Okay. Oh. I need that. So our first things first. Do you guys remember in January when I kept telling you guys, I was like, hey, there's way too many security breaches. Somebody's buying this information. Make sure I can hear myself correctly before I turn that off. Remember, I said that you can go pillage through my live streams. It's only a few live streams. It's in January and there's one in February. I said someone is buying our information unlawfully, and I said in my section of things that I do in cybersecurity, lazy people or businesses can buy your information without you knowing that. But it is very unlawful to do such a thing. Now, remember I said also that the person that's buying the information will figure that out. Well, we figured it out already. That's already been figured out. Let's get that on the big screen. What I need y'all to do as of right now is to get this website in your brain. Get it in your brain. Get it on your phone immediately. This is where your money is going to come from. and it'd be almost spontaneous at this point, like dead serious. Because like I said, they've paid me off of the data that they've stolen illegally. One company, which remember people they have shell companies and all sorts of things, just to protect themselves. Which it's not hard to track down. I keep telling people this. It's really not that hard to track down and all this stuff. Everything is connected. The internet is interconnected. We're all interconnected. If I have signal, then the next person has signal until then. Yeah, you get it though, right? Like this phone has signal up to a radius of like 25 meters or something crazy like that. And then if your phone can't connect to that, then you come back. Oh wow. Well, all right, so we're going to go for the teaching first. What do y'all want to do? Teaching first? Or there's a lot of lawsuits. There's a whole lot. Y'all are about to get paid a lot of money, which y'all should prepare yourself. You need this money for what's coming, because there's things coming, and there's information that's going to be released. And I'm saying it over and over again. There's going to be a video release or videos release. Y'all better prepare yourselves, because it's going to make an uproar. Just messenger. Y'all should not kill the messenger. You can't kill the messenger. You know why? I'm too fast. I'm trained. I'm trained for this type of stuff. Alright. Let me request the rest of my students. Twitch, y'all better be active. Well, I gotta step back a little bit. She said, can I play my guitar? Well, of course I can play it. Why would I buy the guitar if I can't play it? We're live on every platform. In my head, that was 5 minutes, but in y'all time, I don't know. Okay, this needs to be demonstrated correctly. And I'm a great teacher, I'll tell you that. So I'm gonna get to the demonstration. Stop whispering me. No, I don't want you to whisper. I don't want to talk to you. Now, mind you, y'all got this. Y'all got that. I need y'all to have this on your. Get this right here. Topclassactionlawsuit.com. Get that immediately. Get that on whatever software or whatever OS, whatever phone you use. Get that immediately, please. Okay, that was 5 minutes in my time. So we shall start. If y'all will allow me to. Boom, got you. It's 11:11. Perfect. 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 All right. Now I'm going to plug this iPhone, this beautiful, beautiful, beautiful iPhone spyware is what it is. We're going to watch and see something live here. Now, let me show you. Yes, I'm willing to expose certain things just for you guys to wake up. Because you guys need to wake it up. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake it up. I'm not even like plugging my iPhone into my computer, but let me just show you guys this. Alright, now that you guys have got the information there, let's go with the lesson. So, do you guys remember? Let me track your memory. Am I tracking your memory? Let me track your memory. Let's go down memory lane together. Okay, so do you remember this video? And I was telling you about the spyware. You see how I'm like, blah, 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 blah. Okay. And then I released this video also. This video. Hello, everyone. This video came from this person. So in the video explains exactly how I follow that trail. Just listen, because do you think they can copyright strike me on my own video? They low-key probably could. I always go task me, and I noticed it took a few seconds too slow. So I'm like, what's going on here? So I look and I see something that's new. Let me restart that. For the ones in the back, for the ones that are in the back, don't worry. I'm gonna hold your hand through this. And keep the volume right there. All right, go ahead. So I turned to my PC as per usual, normal people stuff, and I always go to Task Manager, and I noticed it took a few seconds too slow. So I'm like, what's going on here? So I look and I see something that's new. This is new. I've never seen it. You can look at the last video. So I hit in task. Comes back. It is using a lot of resources, by the way. It's not. This thing is using a lot of resources from the last. Now, what this is, right, is what we call spyware. Also, keylogs. Keylogs. So anything that you type in, your password, every single thing, all your information is being captured, sent, and stored somewhere. And if you don't believe me, movement this video shows you how to remove that, right? But we're going to go on this trail because this trail is a long trail. It's not a long trail. It's a fast trail. I'll make it fast. I'll make the lesson fast. I'll make the lesson fast for you guys. Because though I'm a busy man, security has been breached. And we got a Canadian person saying it too. That's crazy. So listen to him first. Listen to this proportion.
Video is all about incognito mode being one of the most pointless things that I've ever seen. You know, things like do not track, a lot of these stupid functionalities that I keep seeing, which realistically, I'm just going to say right now, I feel like people are being sold a false bill of goods, and they have been sold a false bill of goods for years. Ladies and gentlemen, I think it comes without a shock that incognito mode isn't really incognito. Guess what?
Now, I picked up on that because I use incognito, right? I use incognito, but I also use incognito in torrent. And using incognito without torrent, for some reason, y'all seen it live, it'll still pull up information that it shouldn't have information on, right? Now I'll show you guys. Let's continue with the video.
Guys, the entire internet knows exactly who you are, even if you try to tell it, I'm not that guy. Even if you try to put on the shady little hood and try to sneak through the internet, they're gonna know. They're gonna know. So why are we talking about this, ladies and gentlemen, today? Well, there was a big thing that came out apparently called BrowserGate, which apparently...
Now, I already said this too. What's the other entity that owns, what is it? Indeed? Indeed also is included into this. They do a lot of ghost, it's a bunch of ghost jobs. It's, what you do is they'll send you a job, you give them literally all of your sensitive data, so your information, sometimes your social, which I don't do that, and then you'll never hear back, which I brought that up. No, everybody's I said, okay, fine.
Was an alleged report that LinkedIn, one of the largest employment hubs in the world, was scanning your browser without your consent. Now, I want to tell you something about consent. I think it's very important. I think most people, when they hear the words consent, I think they want to be able to have a yes or no decision if something is done, you know, whether it be to themselves, to their computers, to their property, to whatever. You know,
It's a consent thing. Remember I said trespass? You trespassed me once. Okay. Trespass me twice. Trespass me 3 times. I don't have to repeat. Y'all have already, it's on the train.
You know, the internet world that we live in literally does not ask for consent, okay? They will pilfer through anything they fucking can. And unfortunately, it seems like it kind of is just legal that way. So let me kind of break down the story, ladies and gentlemen, exactly for you. So this group was saying LinkedIn is illegally searching your computer. Microsoft is running one of the largest corporate espionage operations in modern history. So apparently every time 1 billion users visits LinkedIn.com, Hidden Code searches their computer for installed software, collects the results, and sends the information to an American-Israeli cybersecurity firm. Now, there's a bit of, I guess you could say, oomph to the story. There's a bit of that seasoning thrown on top of it. The reality is, LinkedIn is actually reading what's in your browser. Are they
Correct.
asking your consent to? Abso-fucking-lutely not. Are they potentially sending it to an American-Israeli company? Yeah, it seems like it. But before we get into it, I want the TLDR here for anybody who's wondering, oh my god, can they see what's in my fucking like desktop? No, they can't. They're
I do
looking
gotta
into
trim
your
the beard,
browser
though.
specifically. And to be fair, that's
Y'all said
pretty
I look like
scary
the
itself too.
48th president.
So this group over here said that they found a mass breach of personal data. And they found that it was a place where they were shipping all of this stuff to a group known as Human Security, which was formerly Perimeter X, an American-Israeli cybersecurity firm. So let's get a quick idea of what's exactly going on over here. Let's actually see it for ourselves.
Oh, my palms are itchy. That means that money's coming. So Musk demands banks to buy Grok subscriptions for SpaceX IPO.
About Elon Musk and Grok and all that extra bullshit. The contents of the page are not actually important in the story right now. What's important
There's something wrong
is what's
with
happening
him.
under the hood.
I can't
now here
put
on the
my
right,
finger
you can
on
see
it,
that
but
I have something
there's
known as the
something
Chrome
about that guy.
DevTools. Now here I'm actually using the Chrome browser. I normally wouldn't use this filthy piece of shit on my computer, but given the fact that it is the one browser in this list that will basically open up your computer's asshole to pretty much the entire internet to pilfer, we're going to be using it particularly in this case. So over here, once you have the DevTools open by hitting F12 on your keyboard, you want to go to the network pane over here. Now in the network pane, all of these files that you're seeing over here are, interesting little applets, JavaScript files, things that are opened on this browser. It seems like a lot. So
So that is it tracking. Hold on. That is tracking and monitoring.
let's do a hard refresh by doing Control-Shift-R. Basically what happens is the page refreshes and all of this stuff is sort of loaded in.
It says
and
track.
you might be like, well, wouldn't it just be the actual article? No, this is stuff that you're not seeing on the page too. So one thing that you're seeing constantly is a live constant track that is occurring. This is from LinkedIn. And of course, this is a post request that is about the tracking that was mentioned in the actual research. So one thing that the researchers found over here is by clicking on arguably one of the biggest files that they had over here before the page loads up, you could actually open these specific things up. And you could go to the response window and you can look for some rather shady tells. Integrate with this human group that was actually where the information allegedly went to. And you can read through the code yourself, 20,000 lines and
I know you guys don't really know coding, but yes.
some cases,
He can
that it goes
explain
to
it
a
better.
protectts.net. This is where, again, they actually have a small little invisible portion of the page that helps extract this little iframe that you see right over here. So all of this stuff is grabbed from the actual system. This is meant to scrape your computer. And the information that is scraped, according to the individuals who made this report, is interesting. So what they said over here was apparently at one point they found that there was an extension list. Now these files that you're seeing over here lead to extensions in the Chrome Web Store.
Now, what happened if I told you it's not just Chrome, it's Windows. It's Windows itself, and it's deeper than that. And that video that I posted, right, shows you. Now, this computer that I have sitting right here, right? I have a computer right here, right? It's touchscreen. So, in theory, that I would utilize the keyboard. What is it? Windows. What is it? Windows Experience and what is it called? Windows Input Experience, right? Though it hasn't never been on there, but APT. We're gonna skip around.
Like 1,000 names to YouTube channel finders, generate YouTube search links from names, You've got 10x Tribe. You've got stuff like 2 Hour Job Search. You know, some of these things that I've never heard of, like I am not one of those extension lovers on my computer. I really don't fucking care about that kind of crap. But it seems like a lot of people just love installing extensions into their system. Now, some people looked at things like I don't know, you're browsing the internet and I want to see like if there's like a video of this tool, like yeah, over here. So let's say you see like any woman, I guess, show up on the feed, it just auto blurs her, okay? Browser fingerprinting is a pretty huge
I'm gonna
thing.
let him get him
And what a
to
browser
his
fingerprint
part.
does is, let's say that I'm connected through.
Now that's that. Remember, I told you on my video that he was the key to that video. It literally, my brain said, "Huh," and I was like, "Let me go to my computer really quick." Yes. And so that's why I went live. So this is on Google Chrome, though. This is on almost every software or anything. I use Brave, which I trust, but like, who can you trust until trust is broken at this
Again,
point?
Chrome
bro?
browser. You'll notice that as I connect to this website, the actual fingerprints, and this is information that this site has pulled just off of my web browser. They know that I'm probably based on Linux. They know that
That's a
I'm
lot
probably using
of
Chrome. They know my
information.
language. They know what time zone that I'm actually living in. They know.
That is a lot of information just from you hitting Google Chrome and just typing in anything. It gets all of that information
Know my user agent. They can actually
and sends it
identify
to
what my screen
an
resolution
Israeli
is. They can identify what my
government
GPU is.
thing.
They can identify what the capabilities of my computer can be.
Now, and the capabilities of your computer to be. So, let me track your brain again. Let's track your brain. Do you remember what this video was about?
No, this video is a step-by-step, because I know some people need
System
step-by-step.
usage
It's
report.
a step-by-step, and then at the end of the video, make sure
Pinocchio,
you're
what's
watching.
up? How you been?
There's
I've been
also
doing
some
good.
spice added to it. You need to add the spice to it. Please. Debloat your system. Look at that. Look. Yes. Yes, indeed.
So I removed this, right? Which this system update or system usage reports, literally it reports literally everything on your system, like your RAM usage, your GPU, which is that, like everything, and it's sending it off to someone, which would be Windows. I'm gonna let him continue to cook. He's cooking. Let him cook for a second.
On their own, each of these values doesn't mean anything. But when paired together, all 57 of these data points are actually fucking unique. And they can be attributed to one person. So let's say you sign into LinkedIn with your actual name. Well, your browser and your
from
LinkedIn account
the
with your
United
actual
States of
information are now
America.
one data point that
Where are you
Microsoft
from?
or any of these organizations who are tracking you has. Now, if you go to another website and they have a tracker, they can see that your browser fingerprint is touched. Now, if you don't even log into another website, you think you're being coy, they'll know exactly who you are, just based on this fingerprint. Browser fingerprint is touched. Now, if you don't even log into another website, you think you're being coy, they'll know exactly who you are, just based on this fingerprint. Now, I think it's freaky as fuck for a website that's whole principal metric is basically being the employment world's 4chan, like everyone is connected together. They can tie your account, your browser, your employment history, and what kind of extensions you have on your system. And what's even
Somewhat
troubling in
your
this case, and
profession-
one thing that I don't really appreciate, is the
So-
fact
well,
that
so what's
this
your
information is
profession
shared
besides
with what
streaming?
appears to be a group known as human.
My profession besides streaming is cybersecurity, security in general, and protecting of the people, and always making money. You gotta make money.
Human. Now, if you go to Human's website over here, you can see that they're just a platform for trusted digital interactions, transactions. I think they talk about them being against bot and fraud prevention, like that's, or not being against it, they're actually for that. Now, you can see that at some point in 2022, them and a group known as Perimeter X actually joined forces. And Perimeter X, from my understanding, is an Israeli startup. So again, for a lot of people who were looking deeper into this, some even connected them to Unit
What's your
8200, which
profession?
is the IDF's
Pinocchio.
most like premier cyber warfare,
play the flute.
cybersecurity group. So it's interesting to
So this is coming from a logical man, thinking from a logical standpoint, with no information guided to me. Before we even get to the other videos. They said, here's our people's data. You can do what you please, and
me that when, according to, again, the BrowserGate people, then when these people are profiling accounts, they're looking for what kind of extensions.
and I
they
brought
have
this
on
up
their
in
system. So
January.
with the extensions you have installed, they can probably, isolate. And the reason why I brought up the Islam stuff was that, imagine you're like a practicing Muslim, right? And you're using special filters if you are somebody that's neurodivergent, or if you're somebody that wants to block things that are just adult materials in general. It also scans every major competitor to Microsoft's
Pinocchio, what do you
products like
actually do? Like,
Salesforce,
what's your
HubSpot,
profession?
Pipedrive, and yada yada yada. So yes, no matter what, your browser has basically sold you the fuck out. Now, what did LinkedIn have to say about this? Well, LinkedIn guy said that the claims made on the website linked are plain wrong. The person behind them is subject to an account restriction for scraping and other violations of LinkedIn terms of services. To protect the privacy of our members.
Okay, so pretty much incognito mode, it's no incog. It doesn't do incognito mode doesn't work, but he's going to show you
To the browser fingerprinting. Here I have the Tor browser, and you can see that
On
in
Tor.
some cases, right, compared to, again, another browser that I have here, like this is a Chrome one, you can see that whereas my time zone leaks out, my time zone doesn't necessarily leak out over here. A lot of this is me hiding behind several proxies, because that's just how Tor works. It basically has my browser behind a node in France, another node in France, another node in the Netherlands, and then connects to this website. And a lot of this information, as you can see, when you actually look through the Tor browser, has been obfuscated, has been changed, has been modified
check you
to
out.
the point
I actually
that my
would like an
computer
editor.
better blends in or is less traceable, because I'm kind of just matching a whole bunch of other Tor browser people on the internet. But that's the thing. We live in a world where, again, companies like Microsoft, companies like Google, Facebook, if you think LinkedIn is bad here, in my opinion, they do
Oh, it
that.
gets
But yes,
worse.
you can search on the internet for anything. Like, prepare my 2025 taxes for the browsers, because people, again, when they hear the words.
Okay, so that's 4 weeks, that's 2 weeks, that's 13 days. Okay, let's go right here. So do you guys remember? I'll find the live stream if you guys don't remember. I hide things purposely. It's right here. It's in between these. It's in between these two. And I was telling you guys, I was like, there's way too many security breaches. This is not normal. And there was an equilibrium that happened in December that alerted me. These are not breaches. This is somebody buying, and this is someone buying the information. This is an entities or entity buying informations. Like, how does Panda Restaurant Group have a data breach? Who in the world would target with their logically? What if you have enough intelligence to hack into like anything? Why would you hack into a restaurant? That doesn't make any sense, correct? Unless you need people's buying habits, all that extra stuff. Yes, okay. And these are all recent. These are all recent. These are all recent. Again, yes, yes. Dollar store. Yeah, y'all about to get paid. Yeah, but it's about to get. Oh, we gotta go. We gotta go deeper. We gotta go deeper.
World of cybersecurity, friends, the FBI got hacked. Not only did they
Pinocchio,
get
private
hacked,
message me.
literally in the last couple days, but it seems like the Epstein files out of the FBI were hacked. 100 terabytes were actually gone out of nowhere, and they basically look like complete idiots in the process. So
Now you heard what he just said, right? We're getting to hit on every single end, but they wanted one thing.
basically start off with today, ladies and gentlemen, there's a lot to go over, so I'm going to start off with a little bit of front loading to sort of get you up to the context. Now, in the last couple days, the FBI confirmed that there was a cybersecurity incident targeting a sensitive internal network that managed wiretapping operations and foreign intelligence service warrants. So basically, for anybody that doesn't know, the FBI is sort of the chief cybersecurity, sort of defense. I would say the offense in the country. But the thing about the FBI is they also do a lot of surveillance. So for anybody that doesn't know, the FBI started off basically building programs like Carnivore, for instance, where they went to...
Bro, the FBI got hacked. Wait, what? What timeline are we living in? Y'all can't escape this timeline. Bro, we want those files.
An organization that has come since 2020, the height of COVID. They're basically the Chinese government. And what the Chinese government did is they got some of their best hackers to not hack the FBI, but actually they hacked the people the FBI trusts the most. Hacked the government. And what the...
Please listen to him. I'm gonna be quiet. Listen.
Chinese government did is they got some of their best hackers to not hack the FBI, but actually they hacked the people the FBI trusts the most. So the FBI, in order to surveil the internet, anytime they get like sort of a wiretap, they have to basically grab data from the internet service provider. So when you're in the United States of America, you typically have all of these options to pick. You can get your internet from Verizon, you can get your internet from AT&T, Spectrum, Cricket, whatever. Basically, at the end of the day, the FBI will go to any of these internet service providers, and because they are trusted, the information that is sent back and forth is something that the FBI uses. The FBI has a special connection to these people, so they can just move data off, they can grab people's information. They leveraged that trust, and they actually used the connection at the internet service provider by hacking the internet service provider and then pilfering through the FBI's surveillance network.
Now, do you guys remember what I said? I think I said this like last week or 2 weeks ago. I said there's a lot of people in positions that do not need to be in those positions, and they need to be re-educated in their positions, or like stuff like this will happen. This is just one example. It gets worse. Oh, it gets worse. Oh, it gets worse. But listen, they didn't go after the whole. They went after individuals.
Now, from a good write-up at securityboulevard.com, they actually said that apparently the information that was grabbed was not necessarily the actual intercepted communication, the warranted material. That would be caught in something known as Digital Storm. But what they actually got was something known as DCS 3000 or Red Hook, which allowed...
I do not trust Discord specifically because they had a lawsuit and they did not handle the data correctly, which exposed every user. And they are also trying to push people to use IDs to verify their age. That's the reason why I do not use Discord. I will use we could use a different service provider. That will work. Twitter will work.
allowed them to grab warrant information and the personally identifiable information of individuals under investigation, along with the metadata used to map communication patterns during criminal and national security probes. So again, very, very important information that shouldn't have ended up in, criminal hands. If the FBI decided to just turn off the switch, they would basically be ending their entire surveillance system. So you have to treat this stuff with a little bit of a gingerly care. FBI had an actual breach when it came to the Epstein files. So a hacker back in 2023 compromised the files held by the FBI. And actually, you can verify this kind of for yourself too. So I go to the Epstein files over here, and typically in EFTA 001-48259.pdf, you can see that this is a group of individual special agents that were involved with, again, investigating into the Epstein files. For instance, one of the names that wasn't actually blocked off here was Aaron Spivak.
Now, that name keeps popping up. But, it's like almost not a paradox. That would be the wrong wording. That name keeps popping up, right?
Now, Aaron Spivak. Now, Aaron Spivak is an individual that actually was brought into great scrutiny because apparently his actions led to an FBI server being hacked. And unfortunately, a hacker accessed these FBI files and actually saw some of the CSAM that they had captured and stored in the Epstein files. Now, while the FBI says, listen, it's a cyber incident, it's an isolated one, and they restricted access to the malicious actor and rectified the network. So, yeah, actually the FBI, and that's all you really can say when you get hacked. That's pretty much the only thing you can bring up. Now, inside here, I have EFTA 00173569, which actually...
Yes, you can give me your username.
...is a statement. So if you actually scroll up all the way here, this is Aaron Spivak actually having his statement given about what had actually happened. So, for instance, he understands this is an internal investigation regarding an allegation that Special Agent Spivak improperly stored digital evidence at his residence. So not something that you should be doing, especially when you're working with, something as dangerous, something as sensitive as CSAM material, obviously. One of the things that I've talked...
For those that don't know what CSAM material is, think about what grown people do and think about what Napoleon, what do you call it? Napoleon complex people do when they get angry.
With people who actually investigate this for a living is that in most cases, when it comes to these big mega CSAM databases, a lot of these guys just store hashes. They don't even store the images. Actually, seeing the images is something that very few people who work in these organizations actually, have the unfortunate, horrors of actually seeing. But in cases like this,
is your Twitch or your kick your username?
when you have something as sensitive, you shouldn't be leaving it unsecured and accessible by people outside the FBI network, okay? Jesus Christ. So here he kind of explains what had actually happened to an extent and how the systems were hacked. So I'm going to read this through and I'm going to explain exactly what's going on. So one of the remote computing was enforced, the use of it, right? And this was probably brought after things like COVID. A few years ago when he attended training provided by the International Association of Computer Investigative Specialists, during which we went through basic computer forensics, I heard about like the actual windows popped up. A lot of those windows popped up because RDP was used to pass through the virtual machines interface to...
Okay, I'll make a long story short for this. Bro, they had a rookie. They had a rookie there.
Was using it was fairly easy, and that all I needed to do was follow Microsoft's directions, as they were pretty easy to follow. So again, Microsoft brought up the instructions to set up RDP, and he's like, shit, I guess I'll go with it, right? Access to the network. This was a good initiative, but it wasn't executed properly. Now, the reason he made a remote thing for this was that in case something had crashed to the office and he was at home, he could just dial in through the RDP, reset some things, start the process again.
Oh,
So,
gotcha.
obviously, I would say noble intentions, but horrible
I'll
fucking
follow you, don't
execution.
worry.
My heart and mind were in the right place, but I lacked the knowledge for networking and was not a system administrator.
Yet I was tasked with setting up a network I did not know how to set up, and despite repeat requests for help, I was denied. I should not be held accountable for the FBI systematic failure, especially when the FBI encouraged me and improved me to enhance our labs. And I'm on his side, especially if he's asking for help. There's some.
Yet I was tasked with setting up a network.
I'll save that for later. I'll save that later. Yeah.
Work I did not know how to set up. And despite repeated requests for help,
Oh,
I was
boy,
denied.
oh, boy.
I should not
Oh,
be
something
held
coming.
accountable for the FBI's systemic failure, especially when the FBI encouraged me and approved me to enhance our lab. So at 7:30, he arrives at the office and he notices Tolino computer was restarted. For anybody that doesn't know what Tolino is, Tolino computers kind of are like, for instance, these little servers. These are forensic systems, and a lot of these guys typically will have these forensic software suites. So like 40, he plugs in his Tolino, a text file pops up and said, in part, my network has been compromised, and provided an email address to contact. The file was in the startup folder, so when logging in, it opened automatically. Ran my computer antivirus software, which was up to date and active, and it identified one potential threat. So basically, a few hours later, they located the log files and began combing through, and they noticed strange IP activity that took place yesterday from 2 IP addresses.
Now, if you guys do not know how to log into your own router, just let me know at this point. I'm opening up a cybersecurity, what do you call it? Cybersecurity business, regardless, in my local area and then areas around that local area to help protect people, because the internet's going to go down for a while. Let me say this again. The internet is going to go bye-bye. Like, it's going to go dark for a little while. Then it'll be back on. The reason y'all can figure it out in a moment. Remember, I keep saying there's a video. China done took 100 terabytes of that file, those files, and I'm assuming they're trying to leverage it for tariff reasons, but oh, buddy boy.
The activity included combing through certain files pertaining to the Epstein investigation. I reached out
Brother,
to
I'm
one
not
of the
doing
case
it right
agents
now
to
while
see
I'm
if they were in the
streaming.
office, thinking that maybe they inadvertently changed the setting on a
Respectfully, I'm
NAS,
in the
or if
middle
they
of
noticed
teaching.
anything strange about them. Then they dove into the IPs and checked all of our computers to see which had the IPs in question. One computer, our discovery computer, matched one of them and is located in the room next to the lab. Now, obviously, what's really interesting about this, too, is when you dive into what had happened, terabytes of data was gone because of the result of the intrusion. I was able to recover 400 terabytes of that data. However, I was told to Google how to recover the data. No one else tried to help us.
I would do it when I'm finished, sir. Back to our lesson here. So, he was tasked with something that he literally told them that, hey, I don't think I can do this. They say, hey, nah, bro, you got this, twin. And he asked for help. Mind you, he asked for help.
So immediately I'm kind of looking at this and I'm wondering, wait a minute. What?
Correct.
You had 500 terabytes gone. He was able to remove 400, but 100 terabytes are gone, which, by the way,
That's a
is
lot.
a huge
That's a
amount
lot.
of information. 100. Imagine 100 terabytes. 100 people don't even have like a fraction fraction of that in their computers locally.
100 terabytes is a lot. Dude, brother, I can download a library with 100, probably, yes, probably a little bit more, but a library, like an actual library of books. 100 terabytes is a
100
lot.
terabytes being gone is some pretty huge information to see over here. And of course, when I see that no one tried to help us, it makes me wonder almost
Why
that
are you in a rush?
had
I'm
this
teaching.
been some sort of inside job, had this been something that was abused
Are you trying to keep
by
me off from
another
teaching?
interest in the FBI? Like, what the fuck is happening anymore? You know, you would think that this kind of shit would happen at like some third.
Quick question, Pinocchio. I have a very quick question, and I'm going to look at you in this camera. What country are you from? Please answer that question for me. And then I'll proceed with answering your questions.
Tier like country or whatever, where like maybe their intelligence services isn't as good. But I mean, this is the goddamn Federal Bureau of Investigation, man. Like, what's going on? Where it also gets even dumber over here, ladies and gentlemen, is what had actually been reported by Reuters in this case.
Oh, you're from the UK. Oh, brother. Oh, God. Please. God be with you. I know the struggle that's going. Y'all are. I understand what's going on over there. Trust me, I'm alert and I'm alive. And you're in Manchester. I know what's going on over there. And hey, that dude, what was that dude's name that made that third party? And he's talking about getting all them immigrant stuff out, bro. I like him.
So basically, while Spivak said that he was a scapegoat for the intrusion, and almost reading his statement, I kind of agree if again he wasn't being helped at all. The person familiar with the breach said the intrusion was carried out by a foreign hacker who did not appear to realize that they had penetrated a law enforcement server. So basically, according to this,
I appreciate that. Thank you.
a hacker breaks into the FBI servers. They don't even know they're in the FBI servers, right? Now, according to this, they express disgust at the presence of child abuse images on the device.
There you go.
So they break into a server, they see all of this CSAM material, and they're like, oh my God, this is completely nasty. They leave a note on the server, and they say, listen, I'm going to turn you over to the FBI. So the FBI is like, wait a minute, we're about to get a call about us. So then the FBI diffused the situation by convincing the hacker that they were actually the FBI. They had the hacker join a Zoom call, I believe, where they flashed their badge in front of a webcam. I mean,
Bro, they gotta get out on. Don't worry. Don't worry.
you can't make
worry.
this shit up, man. Like, they left an unsecure server full of probably some of the most sensitive materials out there. Some guy breaks in and he's like, oh my God, this is filthy and nasty.
Alright, Bubba.
Leaves a note, and the FBI is like, wait a minute, hold on. Buddy, get it.
Oh, I won't forget,
We're
trust
the
me,
feds.
I never
Here's
forget.
my badge. I mean,
I'll even screenshot it to make it.
what are you, fucking
Boom.
5? Like, come on, man. Like, Jesus Christ. So, of course, nobody knows, like, obviously in the reporting, who the hacker was, what country they were operating from, or even really what they accessed. But it makes me wonder, too, is, like, if the hacker has gotten into it, what else isn't the FBI telling us, right? Like, who else also didn't pilfer through this?
No, I said this in January. There's a video, brother. They're going to release this video. Now, I didn't know what entity was going to have the video. I just knew the video was going to come out. They have 100 terabytes. They have that video. I love life. Listen, like I said, Gvnni is never wrong. I'm just early. Brother. Not wrong, I'm just early. Okay. Let's continue. We gotta continue.
And get access to information that we thought would have been locked down, tighter than a drill sergeant's asshole in some cases, right? I mean, it's insane to see how far the story has gone. But at least we can confirm in this case that yes, the FBI seems to have had its Epstein files hacked. There,
They went after just that. Mind you, I told you guys there's a video that will be released. I'm gonna go to the restroom. Right? I'm gonna go to the restroom really quick. Y'all should really start actually listening to me when I'm telling you guys this stuff. Like, for real. I actually know that, like, I'm showing you guys stuff from, I'm telling you guys things before it even happens. Like, come on. Stop it, stop. Wake it up. It's time to wake up. You do not want to go through what Canada or the UK is going through. That was a good live stream, actually. We're gonna watch this video.
Hello,
I'm
everyone.
gonna go potty.
My name is Giovanni.
I'm gonna go potty.
Right now, it's 7:43 p.m.
There's a reason why I tell you to watch this video. Watch this video. I'll be right back.
If the computer breaks, then the computer breaks. But this is getting removed immediately. Alright, we're going to do this live right here. We're going to do method 1, right? So it says open task manager, which we have that open. It's right here. And end task for CTF loader. Microsoft IME text input management, blah, blah, blah. Experience. Hit end. Obviously it doesn't. That didn't work. Okay, cool. Alright, root. Bro, this spyware is crazy. Bro, I'm tired of being spied on, bro. Come on, twin. Leaking social security numbers. Oh, bro. When does it stop? It stops now. We're stopping it now.
Yes, I'm tired of being spied on,
Spying
bro.
on us.
What he said.
There it is. Okay. Eating up my resources, bro. First, you needed to know what I was using.
Like I said in that video, I was willing. That's why I was live streaming while doing the video.
Figure out your password.
To show y'all how I can do this. I know what I'm doing.
Alright. Lord be with us. We're going to need you. Registry modification. Windows R. Bro, I'm about to break this system. See, we had service for the last video.
Now, wouldn't it be smarter for me to just open my own business versus working for a business that just breached all of our information?
I'm having a good time. This is fun. This is fun. I love doing computer stuff.
But
the computer stuff is what I like to do. Is my stuff.
Who knows?
All right.
Who knows?
Typing.
Who knows? I know. You guys know exactly where to find me.
And now to key current editing the always.
All right, let's get back to action. Hello there, Jessica. Glad to have you in the chat. I haven't seen you in chat in a while, actually. Where have you been? Should I put up Twitch chat just because Jessica joined? I have to keep going. Oh, so this is actual proof right here. I was streaming while doing the video, while making this video right here. So when you hear me talking, I'm talking to the people watching me do
a few secrets.
this.
They're only $100-some. You get them while.
You guys need to you guys have to delete Google Chrome, get all of your stuff off cloud, get it off the cloud servers. Please watch this video. Watch the whole entire video. I understand. If you want the answer to the question, this is if I know this is how I know if you're paying attention or not. If you want the answer to the question on how to remove this spyware, it's right here. It's right here. But it's literally like spyware. It is 100% spyware. Because logically, I'm using logic. I'm a logical man using logic. If I have a desktop, why do I need to use a virtual keyboard if I have a keyboard? If I have a keyboard and mouse, and why, like, that doesn't make any sense unless you guys are taking our information and doing something with our information. And I had to get that information out immediately to you guys. But it doesn't stop there. So China got 100 terabytes, or yes, China has 100 terabytes of the files. We're going to call it the files, right? I want to keep track of this. We're going to keep track. Oh, incognito mode does not work, especially if you're using Google Chrome. Please get your stuff off of Google. Please, I'm pleading with you. Everyone, like even in the UK, because this affects every single person. We're all connected. The internet is connected together. You need to de-Google. You need to go through your Google. Go through your Google activity. I think I've already done this on live, but I'll do it later when I feel like doing it. I will do a step by step. Actually, I'll do a video. I'll do a video on how to do it. But I'm doing this. I'm not even getting paid to do this, but I know I'm going to get paid regardless. This is, what do you call it? Good faith.
And gals, me Mutahar, and today's video is brought to you by I don't have a sponsor. I don't really need the money. Frankly, today's video is all about doing a deep dive into one of the scariest things that I feel like many people don't really talk about. And, I do talk about this. I do bring up the fact that your privacy and your safety is really important on the internet. Now,
your data is super important, and I've told you and I've shown you. I showed you guys the pay. Well, I didn't show you the payment. I showed you that there was a settlement because a certain company illegally used my videos. Illegally. Not so I didn't have no consent. There was not an email sent. They illegally trained their AI with my. So. And the payment was not even, like I said, it was north of 200 USD, which that ain't. Bro, what? For all of, yeah, no. Hex to the no.
about online safety are we talking about today? Well, if you don't know, there are these things called data brokers. And it turns out, ladies and gentlemen, that it seems like the FBI is doing a pretty good job of basically, in my opinion, violating or circumventing the law to purchase your data.
Now, I've said this in February. There's data brokers. There's people that will buy your data. It's easier to buy. Sometimes let's say you are a blessed individual and you got a trust fund, you're a trust fund baby, and your parents were responsible, and you want to start a business, you want to look nice for your parents, right? What would you do, right? Either you're going to be, if you're one of two, if you're two, then you'll do this. If you're one, then you're probably going to try the hard way. You're gonna go to the ground floor, figure it out, actually go through, find your customer. Don't try to like the second version, the second person would do, oh, I'm just gonna just buy all the information, because that, yes, you can do that, which is super illegal.
Now, how the fuck would they be doing this, ladies and gentlemen? You've probably seen YouTubers, and I myself have advertised services like Aura, for instance, where a lot of these guys, you know, you pay them money, and they go through the internet and start filing out things like opt-out requests and basically protect your online digital trail. Now, the reason I don't really go around and promote these things is mostly that I don't really need the money, and, you know, looking at the audience that I have, and, you know,
Now, if you all have money disposable and you feel like you want to give it to me, then I'll take the money. Did you know that all of the world's information only goes to about 10 people? Sweetheart, what happened if I told you it goes, you know, the other person died? It would, we'd have to speak privately on that.
topic that I talk about, I think discussing internet safety and internet security means
Shout out
that
Jessica,
taking
bro.
a sponsorship from even a company like Aura, when you have situations as of very recently
for you,
where,
I'm gonna have to
you know,
just pull
customer
your- I'm gonna have to pull
information
it up.
does get exposed, and even if it's not your social security, your financial information, your credit records, even if it's something like your name, email, home address, and phone number, this I still don't know if I can trust any company with. So actually,
So trust has been broken. Trust has been broken. Right? I can't, bro. I don't. Once trust is broken, bro, like this, we're gonna get to that last video, and then it's gonna come full circle, and then you're gonna be like, damn, oh, this is bad. But America handles things differently. We handle business a lot different. We're not. America handles business a lot differently. That's why I said this is an American matter. But the UK is an example piece of, if we were to have elected a certain person in 2024 election, oh, this thing would have been looking like a 7-Eleven. No offense. If you're weak-hearted, I'm not apologizing for speaking the truth. I'm not going to apologize for speaking the truth. Dead serious. Alright, we're going to get Jessica's stuff pulled up because she's preaching over here. And, bro, Jessica, you're a real one for real. I don't even trust, bro. I don't trust none of these companies. I USB everything. I store all my stuff via USB.
Yes. One of the questions from chat is,
I don't like,
the sorts of
bro.
mental health
I
support for children.
Yes.
and
You
how
can't
y'all
even.
think about
Windows
that
is
whole part, how do you
compromised,
support
by the way.
We do. So
Yes, Windows is compromised. The FBI has sold our information to Israeli. They can't escape this room, bro. You can't escape this karma. It's coming. It's coming. I'm gonna get her pulled up.
actually today, I'm going to show you what Aura does and something that you can do on your own basically for free. It's just going to take some of your time, and unfortunately, there ain't no fucking way around it. So the reason we're talking about this today,
Bro,
ladies
you're
and
gonna put
gentlemen,
in the
is the
footwork for
FBI
it.
has basically been called out once again for purchasing your user data.
Twice.
Now, there's this thing called wiretaps that we tend to have, right? Like basically, or not wiretaps, we have warrants, right? So if you want to spy on somebody and you're the government, you go to a judge, you file a warrant, and they basically say, okay, you're allowed to subpoena this person's information from, their cell phone provider, their fucking, Google, Microsoft, any internet service or anything in general. Now, if you don't have this fucking warrant, technically you're not allowed to do anything. If you're...
Two things. As I said prior, I live by a no excuse policy. But if you have the disposable, you know where to put it at. Like I said, I'm a man of my word. We will be playing games later this month. I'm going to go pick up either another PC or I've been waiting for this GameCube to come out, but I might pick up a PC, or I really don't even want to buy an Xbox after what Microsoft has been doing.
You ever watched the show The Sopranos? They made a whole episode about how the FBI had to sneak a microphone into the basement of Tony Soprano's house. And it was funny because, like, literally a few episodes later, the whole thing went to shit. All the money spent, all that planning for something that really didn't get them anything. Now in 2026, they don't have to break into Tony Soprano's fucking house. They can just buy Tony Soprano's location data from a broker. So about a few days ago, it came out that the FBI was buying location data to track the U.S. citizens. And actually, here's a clip where you can see a senator basically confront the head of the FBI about this information. And this is what they had to say. Listen to this.
Shout out to our freedom fighters and true patriots that are down for the cause and won't let these weird people, lizards or whatever, deities, shame. That's why I burned that sage earlier. We're dealing with, this is a spiritual warfare. We're dealing with real life. Like, this is real life. You guys, it's not. This is real life.
Can you commit this morning to not buying Americans' location data?
Thank you. The FBI uses all tools, Senator, thank you for the question, to do our mission. We do purchase commercially available information that's consistent with the Constitution and the laws under the Electronic Communications Privacy Act, and it has led to some valuable intelligence for us to be utilized with our private and partner sectors.
So, that's basically the only answer you needed to hear. Yeah, the FBI, when they were asked basically like, hey, can you just stop buying people's private information, people's location information without a fucking warrant? Because here's the thing, people are like, well, this has been happening forever. I want to stop normalizing this behavior, first off, okay? You should never be complacent and be totally okay with the big government turning into like George Orwell's 1984. Or, if you ever watched the movie Minority Report,
complacent.
Going into a direction like that was. So allow me to explain exactly what the FBI guy said, okay? Exactly what this idiot said. So these fucking morons could barely prosecute anything related to the Epstein files, but now we're supposed to be okay with them purchasing our information. The sole fact that they're purchasing user information means that they don't have a warrant. If you have a warrant on somebody, you don't have to go and buy information. You can just file an order and get the information directly from the teeth. So these guys are just buying everyone's shit outright and using it to basically spy on you. And you might be like, well, how do they do that? Well, these guys have huge connections with artificial intelligence companies, and throwing information into those AI companies, throwing information to all of those connected AI groups, like, well, in this case would be Palantir, right? Even though they have their own avenues. Basically, these people are able to commit like a mass amount of surveillance and basically spy on every single person with such relative ease, it should actually be stopped.
Jessica, I'm trying to get the chat full.
Here's the fun part about it. So inside this, I actually looked up the law. And one actual Supreme Court decision from the 2018, Supreme Court here was Carpenter v. United States. So I want to read here real quickly, and this actually is something that kind of addressed this. So basically, over here, they say cell phones perform their wide and growing variety by continuously connecting to a set of radio antennas called cell sites. So you're always connected to a cell tower, right? So as you're driving through, as you're moving around, your phone will connect to different cell towers. And that is how, again...
remember I told you, I said I had to break the system and then redo my system so I can stop this spyware. Which means I have to redo
my OBS, which that's a B.5, but it's okay. I don't mind doing the work.
And all these companies are able to triangulate your position. So each time a phone connects to a cell site, it generates a timestamp record known as Cell Site Information Location, CSLI. Wireless carriers collect and store this information for their own business purposes. Here, after the FBI identified the cell phone numbers of several robbery suspects, prosecutors were granted court orders to obtain the records under the Stored Communications Act. So effectively, over here, what they said was Carpenter moved to suppress the data, arguing that the government seizure of these records, without obtaining a warrant supported by probable cause, violated the Fourth Amendment. So the district court denied the motion. The prosecutors used the records at trial to show that Carpenter's phone was near 4 of the robbery
Jessica comes
locations.
first. You want to know something that's wild? The fact that we, as a public, have just accepted the fact that ones who are really in charge basically sacrifice children. Yes, but we the people hold the power in America. But y'all did y'all forget the Constitution? That's what I'm saying. Hey, did y'all forget that's the Constitution? We the people. I'm glad you brought it up, though. Oh. No, that window has to be probably like down here, right? Where did it go? No, like legit, Jessica, for real. She said it doesn't matter when the mango idiots threaten nukes. Do you want to know? Do you want to know some information? I'm gonna tell you some information. So, history lesson, y'all. Before a nuke goes off, there's an intervention. Let's say something intervenes before. Now this has been documented before. You could find the documents. But yes, I promise you, they will stop it from happening before it does. It's happened before during what was it, the Cuban Missile Crisis. Now, I'm glad you said that because let me pop this open really quick. Don't worry, I'm changing that password too. You better start hoarding your money. They're going to be paying you guys through those settlements, but I'm going to show you guys how to legally do it correctly. And we're going for it all. We're not going for like the chump change because our data has been breached, our data has been sold, stolen, all sorts of things. It's been done like those children, and I didn't mean to say it like that, but the truth is the truth, and sometimes the truth hurts, sweetheart. And you think Protecting the Children Act that they're trying to pass on the 21st of April, you really think they really care about the children? If they cared about the children, those files would have been released. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please correct me if I'm wrong. Now, right here. Hold on, sweetheart. 1 second. Let daddy cook.
It created a clip. So I have to have that open for it to be that way? Okay, cool. Alright, Jessica, I'll do that just for you. I'll keep that open just for you. Because we gotta respect. Shout out to Jessica. Longest, strongest subscriber. Okay, so right here, let me get the 4K camera on. Come on. Let's go ahead and get that 4K camera on. Oh, we gotta move the chat. Or should we move the camera? Let's move the camera. Actually, let's go right here. Let's see. There we go. Hey, 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 hey. How y'all doing? Y'all are beautiful. In America, we the people hold the power. You know that. Obviously, you should know that, especially during, what was it, January 6th? This is a $2 bill. I don't know if y'all have seen this before. You can still get them, hopefully. I mean, you can still get them. They released them a few times, but you can get them from your bank. Now, on the back of it, it says, "In God We Trust," right? And it's the Declaration of Independence, 1776. Now, let's go back. I keep forgetting I have this. Oh. Move that camera. We can turn camera off real quick. Alright. So let's this is important. This is really important because this year is going to be a real year. This is real life. This is the we're breaking this matrix as we speak. Haven't you noticed the bots have been having bot issues? No, let's see. 1776. See this beautiful, that's Machiavelli. Okay. 1776 was a leap year starting on Monday of the Gregorian calendar and a leap year starting on Friday of the Julian calendar. This was purposely done, but might as well go through it. I'm not going to say the words, but you know exactly what I'm hinting towards. Something happened during this. When this was signed, something happened. Something happened when the Declaration of Independence was signed. Now, for those that don't know what the Declaration of Independence is, it's literally us telling the UK that, hey, we found land and we're staying here, Great Britain. So I'm gonna read it. You must, Daddy needs this little energy drink. 'Cause Daddy needs to teach this lesson. I gotta be thorough. Like I said, no excuse policy, but y'all, my back be hurting. Y'all have seen me. Y'all seen the pictures? You graduated high school in 2019 and the world. Aww, I feel sad for you. I feel the pain for you, sweetheart. But it's power in pain. So let's read this. To direct. Put the mic right here. The Declaration of Independence is the founding documentation of the United States, formally adopted by the Second Continental Congress on July the 4th, 1776, in Philadelphia, while the vote of independence actually occurred on July the 2nd, 1776. The July the 4th date marks the final text was approved and became official announcement of separation from Great Britain. Authorized primarily by Thomas Jefferson, which on the back of this bill you can see his little juicy self. He right there. Look at him, get a good look at him. Good. You see that juicy thing? I love it. Ooh. Hey now. Alright. I like a fupa. Oh, I found my fupa picture. I found it, by the way, y'all. Remember I was like, I couldn't find it, I found it. So they found the land. They said, hey, we're not coming back. And we ain't going for that. Also, the Boston Tea Party was an act of protest on December 16th, 1773, during the American Revolution, initiated by the Sons of Liberty in Boston, the capital of Massachusetts, which if any viewers are watching from Massachusetts, y'all have an issue going on. I'm aware of the issue that's going on. God be with you. Because there's a lot. One of the 13 colonies of British America is escalated hostility between Great Britain and the Patriots who opposed Britain's blah 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 blah. So, pretty much, long story short, this is over 3% tax, I believe. Up in arms, over 3%. No taxation without representation. We're way past that now. Brother, if you're getting, okay, if I buy a vehicle and I pay for it fully and you give me the title, I should not pay taxes ever. Besides when I did the sale. There should only be the sales tax and the state sales tax. That should be it. If I have to pay taxes on something that I own, regardless if it's paid off or not, then that means you do not own that. Jessica said a friend of hers has started to make a tally recently on how many Antichrist systems Trump's has. What do you mean? So far, we're up at 10 in the last 3 months. Oh, if you're not hip, I already showed you. I don't even want to plug my USB, but I'll do it. I'll do it for you, Jessica. I literally already showed you. I've showed you guys this stuff.
Let Mudahar continue.
Incognito. They think that
Oh, where we at? Right.
the robberies occurred, Carpenter was convicted. The Sixth Circuit affirmed, holding that Carpenter lacked a reasonable expectation of privacy. Now, basically, the end run for this was the court held that the government entities actually violate the Fourth Amendment of the U.S. when accessing these records containing physical locations without a search warrant, right?
Don't. The Fourth Amendment to the United States Constitution ratified on December 15th. Remember that date. Remember December 15th. Remember that date for this year. 1791 protects citizens from unreasonable searches and seizures by the government. It guarantees you that no warrant shall issue unless there is a probable cause. There is no probable cause for you to spy on 1 trillion people. I don't think they're. Well, they're gonna. Okay, so since they're public officials, they're gonna have to answer to the public about this. Did you know that? So they're gonna have to publicly get in a chair, go under oath, and tell the truth. I'm glad I'm doing this ahead of time so we can watch that when it's happening. It's probably happening right now, actually. Knock on wood. But yeah, so that's what the Fourth Amendment is about.
So now the FBI got their ball snipped. So you know what they did? They decided to circumvent the system, and instead of going to the cell towers, they went directly to people who just harvest this information from, applications on your device, basically trackers, and sell that to the government in the end run. So again, it's kind of similar in a lot of ways to situations like Prism, for instance, where I did talk about this in a while ago, where, back in 2013, people like Edward Snowden basically leaked out to the world that there was an entire tracking system for a lot of the largest
drink a
social
lot of
media
water
services
because
like
it
Google,
needs C4.
Facebook,
Ultimate.
Yahoo, Skype at the time, of course.
Sponsor
And,
me,
these
bro,
organizations
please.
basically had a program called Prism, where it would
I do
allow
good work.
officials, usually part of the National Security Agency, to come in, grab information like search history, content of emails,
God,
file
if
transfers,
it's to
yada,
be,
yada,
let
yada,
it be.
yada, yada. And now all this got exposed, people were like, this isn't good. This shouldn't happen. This shouldn't be allowed. Because it's a gross violation of your privacy. So the next run around this is obviously going to data brokers. So here's the fucked up part about it, right? So the court order back then basically said the FBI couldn't acquire this information.
Jessica says, you think, this month alone, they've already violated the 7th Amendment. Well, let's go to the 7th. A lot of people don't know about the 7th. Wow. What is her name? I'm not going to speak her name. Jury trial in certain federal cases where the amount in disputes exceeds $20 and prohibits the court from overturning a jury factual finding exempt according to common law rule. Ratified on December 15, 1971. Remember December 15th. You should be live during midterm voting. ICE is literally violating who knows how many amendments. Oh, I know. Oh, I'm already. What do you mean midterm? Or do you mean like governor election?
from, the carriers. So what the carriers started to do was actually sell information to third parties. So in fact, you can actually read over here that the FCC fined, and this is back in like 2024, so not that long ago, that T-Mobile, AT&T, Verizon were illegally sharing access to customers' location information without their consent and taking reasonable measures to protect that information against unauthorized disclosure. And you can read the actual findings right over here from the FCC. It's just funny to me that this Ron Wyden guy is sort of like the Thomas Massey. He's just kind of
These
over there,
midterms
he's old,
are coming
but he
this
understands
year.
how fucked up the situation
United
is
States
getting.
midterms.
So basically, the
What do you
FCC
mean by midterms,
Enforcement Bureau
sweetheart?
investigates these four
Not
carriers
just
and found that
governor,
they all
House of
sold
Senate
access
seats.
to their customers.
Hold on, let me go ahead and get that. Let's get that going on. You're getting. That's why I have you up there, cause we're twinning. Y'all know I make clothes. Like I have a custom, really expensive embroidering / sewing machine, which for my very first patron that goes on my Patreon and makes a donation, I will make you one custom t-shirt. Alright, let me search this up. Midterms, sorry. Hey.
Want to be very well behaved.
I'll be a good boy.
They're very easily swayed. I want to be a good boy.
Okay, alright. Sorry. I want to be a good boy. This guy, I don't like him. He lied, you guys. He lied. First it was, we lived across the street from Jeffrey Epstein for 6 years, and we only went over his house one time, but we never ever went inside the house. We just stood at the door. We seen the massage table, chair. Then it turned into, once they put him on under oath, yes, my wife, and my children went to his island. Scratching my head. Every seat in the House of Senate is up this year. Thank you, sweetheart, for giving me. Well, Vance, he's been doing his little thing. Midterms election will determine control. Okay, so this, I'm glad you said that because I have the information. They're trying to. I'm voting no. They're not. So they're this right here. Hold on. I'm voting no to this. Because inside this bill is also them trying to ban VPNs. They're trying to stop this video from coming out, and it's not gonna. They can't.
And China already has possession of it now. Oh, it is. I didn't even get to the rest of it. When is the midterms? Do you know off the top of your head, sweetheart? Shouldn't I have the information right here? Wouldn't that be today? No, it's not today. It's tomorrow. Oh yes, no. Daddy keeps all his documents. Midterms happen in November. Thank you. I will remember that. It's crazy how you see how like they try to like they don't give you they make you dig for the information. It should have been easily. A senator must be 30 and a U.S. citizen for 9 years. Did you guys know there is an illegal immigrant sitting in the House of Senate? America, please wake up. Please wake up. So what they're trying to do, right? Where's that map? Where's that map? They're trying to cut it this way and it won't work. You know why it won't work? Because you have people like me and you have a lot of good people. You have freedom fighters that will fight for real for what's right, because they've been doing a lot of wrong. A lot of wrong. They've been doing a lot of bad stuff. And just that video alone of the United States government. Shout out to the... I'm USA to the day I die. I'm birthed here, raised here. This is my land. This is my home. I didn't ask for anything besides y'all pay me what y'all pay me what I'm deserved to be paid. But it needs to be paid correctly, not incorrectly, correctly. When I say y'all, I'm not talking about my subscribers. I'm talking about the person that knows exactly who I'm talking to. Turn that camera back on. It isn't a joke. It is crazy that Virginia has a Democrat governor, but all its House of Senates are Republican. Funny how that works. Yeah. I don't know how in the world Virginia got duped into voting for a woman, like a woman, that woman Abigail Spanberger. She lied. She lied, like bold-facedly lied. That advertisement that I showed you guys, she literally said, "I'm an army brat, blah 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 blah. I believe in the Constitution, something something something. I would never infringe on that. I'm not going to go after your weapons. We're not doing any of that." That's what she said. Like I said, they have a good way of erasing certain things, but you can't. Once it's online, brother, somebody else has it. Once something goes online, it's online forever. Oh, this is fire. Look at me looking all sexy. It's alright to love yourself. You should love yourself. You should be narcissistic towards yourself, for real.
You should love yourself. Love yourself more. Stop being so hard on yourself. I'm the one. That's hypocrisy on my part because I'm hard on myself. I'm very hard on myself. It's just something that I was born with. I'm very, 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 very hard on myself. Mind you, hold on. Everybody, close your eyes. Mind you, I have a spinal issue, right? Mind you, I have a spinal issue, right? But I don't sit there and I don't let that become, I don't let that intervene or interfere with getting these videos out or being live. I don't sit there and make excuses. That no excuse policy is real. I'm interested in what Lane. What did we come to YouTube for? Abigail Spanberger. Abigail. A spam burger. It sounds disgusting. She looks like that that meme of that Jewish guy doing this. They have that video. Bro, she done swapped. That is not a normal person. That's not a human. She did literally everything everything that she said that she was going to do, she did not. She did the complete opposite. So either they have something on her or they paid her. But in January, I told you guys when it happened because that artificial snow came and it didn't irritate me. Well, it did cuz I slept a little bit. But like it, think like this, think like this, think like this. Oh yeah, no, I know. I know. Jessica, well, I know. Think like this, right? If you were not warned about snow, there was no advisory, and the snow comes that fast overnight and turns into hard ice, that is artificial. And I knew it was artificial snow. But I, as a man, had to go outside and I had to clear a walkway because it was ice. But remember this, you guys. Please take this information wisely. Because you have to use nature. Nature is our friend. Once I seen that snow happen, because I woke up to the snow, I knew something was going on. Because I was like, this is not regular snow. Let me go check what laws they're trying to pass. And she was trying to pass that, what is it? SB 749. Which is literally SB 749. I have it like document. I might as well get it tattooed at this point. Oh, I'm a robot. Don't worry. I'm not a bot, bro. Whoa. ineligible to possess a firearm, pursuit to of subsidiary. Pretty much what the bill is about is, for some reason, they're still trying to ban VPNs, which I'm glad somebody was there. I was there during the hearing also. I was there. I fight for what's right, for real. Um if there is an unnatural, there you go. If there's an unnatural weather scenario, check immediately the law. Check the news immediately. That's how you can figure out what's going on. But God forbids, because God forbids, God already knows. God forbids this bill passes. I don't think they're. I don't. I really don't. Y'all keep forgetting what America was built on, by, and how it operates. Obviously, we're somehow in a war. We're in like 7 different wars. If this bill were to be passed hypothetically, it'd, brother, like, it's not going to get passed. Trust and believe me. Any person with common sense would not pass this. Like, for instance, sweetheart, I'm not. They don't make 10 round magazines for the weaponry that
Information to
a human
aggregate.
possesses.
Now, who the fuck are
Second of all, literally like 80% of the people that live in Virginia have firearms that have the capacity over 50 rounds. And did you know that there's heard slow self said that the person will be fined, jail for 1 year, and fined up to $2,500. It criminalizes the import and sales, manufacture, the purchase, and transfer on assault firearms, and bans magazines capacities of holding more than 15 rounds, which that's not correct. First it was 20, now it's 15, but it literally on the bill is at 10. Like I said, they're trying their hardest. They're weak. The enemy is weak. I could smell you bleeding. It is a blatant unconstitutional attack on the people of Virginia and a direct violation of our God-given right to keep and bear arms. In his last attempt by the anti-gun Democratic legislatures to strip citizens of their rights while pretending they're making everyone safe. Mind you, remember, they have to tell you. They have to tell you. In America, they have to tell you what they're going to do before they do it.
in general, in any other area, any evil, we rebuke that. But they tell you before. Virginia should be furious, and their own government is trying to criminalize them for exercise. Yeah, like, but she showed her hand immediately at the beginning of January. What was it? January 12th, I believe, is when this bill was proposed. Mind y'all remember I had that. I was not in the car accident. The human that I was with at the time was in a car accident, and yeah, I was dealing with the car accident, then artificial snow, and then buying a new car since the car got totaled, and then now that there's snow, the children have to be out of school for 2 weeks. So now I gotta take 2 weeks off for work to make sure that the human's safe and the child is taken care of. I don't complain. I didn't come. I did it. I completed it. Y'all seen me, and I still streamed.
Are these aggregators, right? Well, these aggregators turn out to be companies that are basically big old data brokers. So for instance, I'll show you one data broker in particular, right? So this is a company known as Ventel. Now, if you go to Ventel's website, you probably would be like, I don't understand what they're doing. Mission critical geolocation intelligence? The largest, most trusted, and privacy compliant. I love it when they just fucking lie to your face about that too. So basically you can see over there, and this is all just like incorporating geolocation intelligence into national security can mean the difference in saving lives, from understanding human trafficking to responding to natural disasters. Love how they put human trafficking first. Let's be fucking real. You're just serving as a surveillance state mechanism.
This
all right,
is this is disgusting.
Let's just be completely honest here. So immediately, these are companies that basically sell your information to the FBI and basically anybody who has enough money. Now, the reason why I mentioned Aura in the beginning is that for a data broker in the United States, they can basically sell your information that they basically harvest from applications, trackers, to people for millions upon millions of dollars. And in fact, the law enforcement agencies pay around tens, if not more, thousands of dollars for your shit. So basically, in order to opt out, if you want to opt out from, say, Ventel, you have...
This is a beautiful, beautiful... I'm going to take a video of this, but this is a beautiful, beautiful work of art. Now, the reason why I show you... Oops. Don't I have money in my pocket? Oh, I thought I had cash in my pocket. The reason why I show you this... Oh, there's money right there in front of me. Oh, I me and more. Jessica, come back, please. The reason why I show you this... Trump's doing this purposely. He's trying to drop it purposely. He's a businessman. Let him conduct his business. This $1 bill right here is a $1 bill. It's a regular $1 bill. Let's just... Do you see the change of artwork? They're pledging allegiance to... And I'd rather have beautiful artwork like this on my cash. Which, quick history lesson, you guys. You could take this to the bank back in the good days. You could take this right here. This $1 bill. I repeat, this $1 bill. It's a blue stamp $1 bill. You can take this to the bank and get an ounce of silver or the equation of the silver at that moment. We have been getting robbed left and right. And then it's time to stop. They've literally been they've stolen our information. They have breached contracts. The American people are just. The American people should be very upset, is what I'm saying. I don't know about you, but y'all should be very upset. I should not be the only person that is upset. I know I'm not the only person, obviously. There's a Canadian person that's upset about this. Okay, let him speak.
Have to go all the way down on their page and find opt-out and delete request. So you go over here and it takes you to a separate page that you go all the way down and you have to find out what your mobile advertising ID is for your iPhone or Android. And it kind of barely give you any guidelines on this because ultimately they want to make this as frictionful as possible, right? They want to make this as annoying so somebody doesn't go through this. So you put in your advertising ID, you submit it, and technically they're not supposed to be profiling you anymore. I don't know if they do or they don't, but that is kind of the law. Now the thing is, the reason why people go out and get like services like Aura in that case is because this is just one company. There are other companies like Babel Street, for instance. You go to their page, for instance, and it looks, see more, no sooner, act smarter. Every second counts. Babel delivers mission-grade risk intelligence. And again,
If you're at
it
work,
looks like they're just selling it to law enforcement and military agencies because that's kind of the
Hear
business
me
that they're
loud
in.
and clear.
But in order to actually protect
Look.
yourself,
If you're at work, thank you for working. Thank you for the working class. They're January 28th. I live streamed because I was laughing and it was funny to me. But it's not a funny matter, actually. January 28th, pretty much, that old man, Jerome Powell, came on and pretty much said that, hey, we overspent and we're going to need the working class to pay for this, which will destroy the working class. Like, there would no longer be either you're dirt poor or you're paid rich. That's why I said prepare. You need to prepare yourself.
if you want to save from here, it's not easy to opt out. Look at their page. Do you see the words opt out anywhere? No. In fact, in order to just do this, you have to go to the privacy policy, and then you have to scroll all the way down in this page, and then you have to go get the email and email them and tell them you want to opt out from their surveillance.
Like even the
So that's
$20
another
bill is
organization.
better.
And again, you can imagine how much of a headache this whole thing becomes.
Hold on,
In fact, the
I'm not pulling it
EFF
up.
basically printed out a pretty good guide about this. They basically say that when it comes to mobile applications on your phone, some partner
Bro, they
with
need to put
data
me on the
brokers
dollar,
like
or not the dollar,
Complementix
damn.
or
Put me on a $1 trillion bill. Like, bro, even this joint looks better than whatever else they're creating. But the artwork and the time, this right here, this is beautiful. This is beautiful. You guys need to get your money out the bank. Physically get your money out the bank. I do not care how. Get your money out the bank. Keep the money that you need in the bank for bills. Keep a reminder. You have to be responsible adults. We're all adults here. Let's be responsible. We all have to be responsible.
Predicio, where basically they pay you to put their proprietary tracking SDKs in your devices so they can get location data. Some guys are bitstream data brokers, where
Yeah,
tens
I'm
of
gonna trim my
thousands of
beard
apps
down.
broadcast their location, and data brokers like Mobile Wallet actually participate in the auction to purchase this information. Then these brokers go to places like Gvnni.G, who then go to Ventel, who then go to Babel Street, who then go to the Department of Defense, who then can go to the Special Operations Command. You can see basically the FBI, DEA, Customs Border, ICE is basically here. Look, a few months ago I talked about how ICE was buying zero-click malware to infect people's devices. And you might be like, well, wouldn't they need a warrant to do so? Do you honestly fucking think that a law enforcement agency would just use a warrant every single time, especially when they have zero-click malware that they can just send out to any phone that they have access to? Are you that naive? You know? There's no oversight for this shit. It's
They are that naive.
fucking crazy. Now, a good example of this is actually back in the day, in 2020, when Vice did a pretty good write-up for this, where they found that an application called Muslim Pro was an application which would basically tell you when to pray. So Muslims have to pray 5 times a day. They have to pray in a specific direction. So generally, to do this, you need to give location access to the app, so it can give you the accurate times and direction for your exact location. So you see what's happening over here. Muslim Pro apparently decided to sell that information to Xmode, another data broker.
Hold on. Y'all can read that chat. What? That don't even make any sense.
That
Let me make sure I'm reading this right. Unfortunately, my headphones broke today because my naughty cat. So, you're supposed to put a quote, like a comma. My naughty cat, comma. Wait, hold on. Because of my naughty cat, so I can't hear your voice. It would be great if you could respond through chat instead. What are you watching me off of? Are you using, what device are you using on me? What device are you using? And then I'll reply.
So immediately, according to them, 98 million people across multiple platforms were giving their information to apparently Xmode. And when they were fucking caught, they were like, by the way, we're not going to sell your information anymore. That's haram. That's not okay. Are you fucking kidding with me? So apparently down over here, as part of their investigation, Ron Wyden came in and basically in a statement said that Xmode is selling location data harvested from U.S. phone to U.S. military customers. So basically, lawyers for data broker Xmode Social confirmed that the company is selling data collected from phones in the U.S. to U.S. military customers via defense contractors. So look, this whole thing about it kind of takes me to whenever I talk about malware that comes out of China and people are like, I'm not installing Chinese malware on my system. Bro, it doesn't matter what country you go to. In China, they directly get your shit straight from the government, okay? They just have laws for it. In the US, they put this crazy obstruction and they say, listen, we're gonna fight for your privacy, but not really, okay? When the U.S. military just has to go to a contractor and buy all the information they want about a specific group of people, that should raise serious alarms. This should not be fucking normalized in any capacity, okay? All right? What the fuck are we doing anymore, man? This should wake you up. People are talking about all these crazy flock cameras being set up around their neighborhood and tracking people's license plates. Fuck that shit. That's bad. Okay? But when the federal agencies are buying your shit...
California somehow owns or gets payment for those devices. I need to go to the bathroom. I gotta get up.
En masse? That's scary. So what about individuals that just have enough money to be doing this, right? What if you just have the money to be purchasing all this stuff yourself? Well, I decided to look at other write-ups from this too. So Crepson Security had a great private investigator who decided to go to Babel Street, right? And the investigator was like, hey, yeah, can I buy home addresses in a certain area of New Jersey? And so after listening to a sales pitch, for Babel Street, the investigator was told that Babel Street only offers their service to the government or to contractors of the government. Now, okay, that's fair enough. The average guy like me can't just go and buy Cash Patel's, personal information because I'm a private citizen. But I guess if I was the government, that'd be fucking okay, right? That we can trust them 100%.
I'm gonna leave it right there. Ayo, potty. Ayo, potty. I was speaking some fire right around here somewhere. Take a snapshot. So it'll be on the screen. You'll see me doing it. And then I also have a snapshot. Alright. 1 moment. Ayo, potty. I'll be right back. Hold on, I had to say something.
Please excuse me.
Right now, it's 7.
I promise I'll be right back.
PM. Right?
Do you want the representative to be prior?
If the computer breaks,
Do you want the representative to be
uh,
present?
but this is getting removed immediately. Alright, we're gonna do this live right here. We're gonna do method 1, right? So it says open task manager, which we have that open. It's right here. And end task for CTF
back.
Microsoft IME text input management blah 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 experience. Hit end. Obviously it doesn't. That didn't work. Okay, cool. All right, we're. Bro, this spyware is crazy. Bro, I'm tired of being spied on, bro. Come on, twin. Leaking social security numbers. Oh, bro. When does it stop? It stops now. We're stopping it now. Stop spying on us. There it is. Okay. Eating up my resources, bro. First, you needed to know what I was using and how I was using it. Now we need to figure out your passwords to everything. Like, oh, Jesus. All right. Lord be with us. We're going to need you. Registry modification. Windows R. Bro, I'm about to break this system. See, we had service for the last video. All right, we're running. This is funny. Oh, I'm down here. I'm having a good time. This is fun. This is fun to me. I love doing computer stuff. Like, the computer stuff is what I like to do. This is my stuff. All right. Type in registry or REGE and navigate to. Oh wow. Okay, hold on. I'm gonna need more screen space here. I have multiple monitors for this specific reason. But I need for y'all to see this. Okay, so high key current user / or / software user, high key current user. We're just boom. Right click it. Modify. Right click. Modify. Change values to 0. Bro, I'm about to break it. I'm literally about to break it. And then restart your computer for the change to take effect. Warning, editing the registry incorrectly can cause system issues. Proceed with caution. Yeah, I'm about to break the system. I just, That's, bro, this is spyware. Keystroking. What? For user, high key user. Current user, can we do zero for all those? Volume, I said local machine. for this user. Now, always double, triple check. Alright, I'm going to restart my machine. Obviously, it's not going to work, so we're going to have to go down to method 3. But let's see. I'll be right back. The time now is 7:53. Well, that's why I got these USBs, bro. You gotta stay 10 steps. Because did you know in chess you can lose your queen to get the victory? And I'm getting to victory, don't worry. Victorious. But they should not have this much access to your personal computer. Hence, that's why I keep preaching the message. Y'all get a few Seagates. They're only $100-some.
Check.
Get them while they're cheap, please.
And also
And
get
just
some
store your
that
data
good
that
old
way.
food.
Don't leave stuff on the clouds. Don't leave it
It's
on.
gonna be a long
You see,
live
they
stream.
make you
I'm
pay
missing here.
to-
But you heard that fire I just spit? I spit fire.
Well, that's why I got these USBs, bro. You gotta stay 10 steps. Because did you know in chess you can lose your queen to get the victory? And I'm getting to victory, don't worry. Victorious. But they should not have this much access to your personal computer. Hence, that's why I keep preaching the message. Y'all get it.
In chess, you lose your queen, but you still can get the victory.
Get a few Seagates. They're only $100-some.
One more moment.
Get them while they're cheap, please, and just store your data that way. Don't leave stuff on the clouds. Don't leave it on. You see, they make you pay to. You gotta respect how shiesty they were. But Snapchat, for instance, you want your memories, bro? You're gonna have to pay me like $5 a month to keep those memories. Cause if not, those are gone, bro. Those are ours. Alright, I'm going to end the live and then process the rest of the video and then hopefully come back live. So I can finish this. I need to be thorough. This needs to be very thorough. I haven't even restarted the computer because I already know it's probably not going to work. So let's get right back into this. Let's get back into action. Action mode activated. Are you activated? Because I am activated. Windows are run, blah, 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 blah. We did that part. You guys seen that, right? We're going to go to step method 3 because I know method 3 shall work. We're going to have to go to narrator, so navigator. Oh, look at me. It's late, y'all. I'm getting sleepy, but I gotta get this out. Accessibilities, keyboard accessibilities. Uninstall unused language pack using Windows terminal command. Alright, so this part is a very long part. They make it hard for a reason. I'm going to speed it up for you. And yes, I'll just speed it up for you. And then when I post the video, I'll put the, what do you call it? The caption point. You're going to have to go through method 2, then go to method 3, then restart your computer. Watch. You're not catching. How do you...
Security check completed. I'm Buck. I'm Buck. I just got that information. God, I rebuke all of the evil spirits that are trying to work against us. Thou shalt not. Thou shalt not work. They will pay for their crimes against humanity. And also pay for the breach and selling of our data. Because our data has been sold, breached, and has been given away. Let's continue with this demonstration. Now Daddy will give you a little ASMR. I know y'all like that. Y'all freaky frogs. Okay, let's get back to where we're at. Right here. Let them hit it. I didn't do anything wrong, right? Okay, cool. I'm good.
Personal information because I'm a private, right? And the investigator was like, hey, yeah, can I buy home addresses in a certain area of New Jersey? And so after listening to a sales pitch for Babel Street, the investigator was told that Babel Street only offers their service to the government or to contractors of the government.
Hey, myself
Okay,
on.
that's fair enough. The average guy like me can't just go and buy Cash Patel's, personal information because I'm a private citizen. But I guess if I was the government, that'd be fucking okay, right? That we can trust them 100%. While they're protecting fucking pedophiles and everything too, that's totally fine. The investigator, personal information because I'm a private citizen. But I guess if I was the government, that'd be fucking okay, right? That we can trust them 100%. While they're protecting fucking pedophiles and everything too, that's totally fine.
Correct.
The investigator mentioned he was contemplating some government contract work in the future and was told by Babel Street salesperson was, shit, we don't want to give up money, that's good enough. And they don't actually check. So I guess if you're motivated enough and you got the gift of the tongue, you might be able to get.
Run me back. What?
Fucking pedophiles and everything too. That's totally
Whoa!
fine. The investigator mentioned he was contemplating some government contract work in the future and was told by Babel Street salesperson was, shit, we don't want to give up money, that's good enough. And they don't actually check. So I guess if you're motivated enough and you got the gift of the tongue, you might be able to get people's information. I mean, this is, when I was reading this the other day, I was like, okay, this doesn't sound crazy, but it actually, when you really do a deep dive like this and you really paint the picture out to somebody, it should enrage you. It should piss you off.
Correct.
Because here's the thing, right? Like, in order for us to be private and safe on the internet, we have to go through and write, we have to fucking email all these scumbag, filthy, cum-guzzling, shit-stained companies to not spy on us. We have to fill out fucking opt-out requests. It's like, what is the nicest way to fucking put this, right? It's like, imagine going up to your fucking rapist and telling him, yeah, here, can I file out an opt-out request? That's what it feels like, okay? Like, I'm not even joking. It feels
Correct.
that, and I mean, I'm fucking heated talking about it, you know what I mean? Like, that's the
Continue.
insane world we live in, Like, if you really paint it that way, it starts to make a lot of sense. So anyways, at this point, I started to look a little bit deeper into this stuff as well too. And again, it always kind of, this is why I was talking about like age verification and like, you know, VPN bans and everything too. Is that ultimately, at the end of the day, the future for the internet is like locking down your user identification to a lot of services, writing down VPN services to the point where they're always going to grab individuals' user interface or users' IDs, so that even if you use these things to obfuscate your information, even if you run things like ad blockers or you run like DNSs that like filter out private information, it's still never going to be enough, because these are also the loopholes that the government wants to shut down, so a lot of these scumbags of the FBI can more easily grab your shit. This is why, like, I'm not saying that you're never going to be not spied on, okay? If you're touching the internet, there's a good chance your private information is being leaked to some capacity. But just because it is, doesn't mean that you should open your fucking ass and let these guys stick searchlights all the way up there, right? Even when it comes to things like VPNs, you know, you look at companies like Kate, for instance, who, you know, are headquartered around in places like Israel, and, you know, their countries and governments and,
Bro, why did we give them all of our... Bro, like, we pay taxes. I work a job, bro. We're taxed on our... We're taxed out of the butt. Bro, we're taxed... Oh, my goodness. I get this from a corporation or whatever, or entity. This is taxed for them. Then once they give it to me, it's taxed again. Then once I give it to the next person, it's taxed again. What do you mean, debt?
cybersecurity divisions that I absolutely have a harder time trusting. And when you start seeing a lot of these guys purchase VPNs like Express, private internet access, when you start seeing the consolidation, you think to yourself, is...
By the way, we got away from the silver standard. So, like, the little dollar bills don't really... The money really doesn't actually mean anything. It just is... It's like, oh, can you... It holds value... It holds as much value as the person thinks or believes.
Is there something sinister and shady behind it?
That's why I keep saying you guys need to
but...
take your money out your bank. Keep what you need in that bank. Also, go through your... If you have an iPhone, go to privacy and security, scroll all the way down. There's this green part. It says, what does it say? What does it say? I'll show you live. Look, you scroll all the way down. Privacy and security. Oh, wait, no. Where's privacy and security? Oh, right there. Yeah, blue thing. You scroll all the way down. It's a green app. A green app. It says App Privacy Report. You turn that on, and you can see exactly what is monitoring you, what it's using all your locations, what it's accessing. It shows you all of it, and it's stored locally via on that device. So once you delete it every 7 days, it won't be like, it's not sent to a cloud. It's just stored locally. Once it's deleted, it's gone. But this is how you find what applications are leaking your location, your data, using way too much data, doing way too much, or if someone was recording you on FaceTime. Yes. If you turn this on, you can figure that out.
But it's difficult to not link these things together, because it does feel like you're deliberately ignoring all of these connections. But yeah, the FBI is now purchasing your stuff, right? It's one of the reasons why, look, if you're going to use things like Google, there's probably a good reason that you start using things like Start Page to better anonymize your actual privacy footprint And even if you don't say trust start page because you went down the rabbit hole there and found out maybe they're connected to like an ad tracking company or something of that nature, then they're still Seer X&G public instances, which again are still not perfect, but with 69 plus available instances, anybody can click over here and just start searching through a search engine that anonymizes them, right? When it comes to your online communication, it's still possible to be using the dark web, right? Which honestly I feel like is sort of the last bastion of real freedom. Like this is Dread, for instance, and Dread over here is basically a Reddit-like platform, except it exists on the dark web. So here you can see this is the actual URL, and I'm connected through the Brave browser. I don't even have the Tor browser installed here. I'm just running it.
I use that. It's a good browser. Sometimes. I have different browsers. Linux, I'm in between Linux right now, but y'all see why.
Through Brave. And you can see over here, yeah, these people are always talking about things like OPSEC. They're talking about how Systemd is adding birth dates to the actual like system. This is another big story for Linux. But yeah, might be the last platform where you don't have to give up your information and you can actually communicate here like an anonymous human being. But look, when it comes to your cell phone, right? When it comes to you pinging your information, how many applications, how many data brokers do you have to hit before you're actually truly private? No, honestly, the only fix to this is having a law that prevents any of these federal agencies from spending your tax money on this. Remember, it's tax season, okay? You should probably be getting your taxes filed.
You should probably get your if your taxes aren't filed by now, then you're part of the issue. But if your taxes are filed, which I do your taxes between now and like on the 15th, I think is the tax day.
But when you pay the government, you need to make sure that government is spending your dollars to fucking spy on you in some fucked up way. Remember, these guys are letting actual predators get away with really heinous crimes. But heaven forbid you do or think something that doesn't mold into their belief. Then they're suddenly on your ass. And that I can't tolerate. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike if you dislike it. I am out.
And then our last video right here, right now. Let's go. Hold on. That means I have to cut somebody off. You guys need to pay attention to when your body gives you signals. Your body is connected. If your palms are itchy, that's money coming. If you're cute, you could figure it out.
Gals, me Mudahar, and the FBI director just had his email hacked. You might have seen these headlines just pop up out of nowhere today, and I decided, you know what, I'm gonna be up in the middle of the night basically doing all this. So everything was sort of compiled. I did a whole deep dive, and frankly operating on basically no sleep here, I can confirm to you that the FBI director's emails did get hacked. Now there's a bit of an asterisk there, which a lot of the headlines aren't really saying. These are personal emails, it seems, and they do come from an account that is not at FBI.gov. As far as I know, okay, as far as I've really been able to research down. But there is actually a compromise. So this website, which you can't access because it's been taken down, belongs to a there. To whole deep dive and frankly operating on basically no sleep here, I can confirm to you that the FBI director's emails did get hacked. Now, there's a bit of an asterisk there, which a lot of the headlines aren't really saying. These are personal emails, it seems, and they do come from an account that is not at FBI.gov. As far as I know, okay, as far as I've really been able to research down. But there is actually a compromise. So this website, which you can't access because it's been taken down, belongs to a group called Hundala. Now, this is a Iranian-backed or Iranian-linked cyber warfare team. They're basically a group of activist hackers, and they've been kind of targeting the United States, Israel, a lot of, people that, Iran does not like. And it's kind of escalated because for anybody that's kind of been living under a rock, there's been a huge war between the U.S. and Iran called Operation Epic Fury, and things, well, they're not looking that great for the world around, okay? Things are a bit tense. But I'm just here to talk about the cybersecurity part of it. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is Kash Patel, the current director of the FBI, hacked.
Please pay attention. Please pay attention.
Now, again, this is what they write. Today, once again, the world witnessed the collapse of America's so-called security legends. You know, I really don't think anybody was calling the FBI fucking security legends. Let's be fucking real. Recently, their stocks have dropped pretty hard. While the FBI proudly seized our domains and immediately announced a $10 million hack for the heads of the members, we decided to respond to this ridiculous show in a way that will be remembered forever. So here they said Kash Patel, the current head of the FBI, who once saw his name displayed with pride on the agency's headquarters, will now find his name amongst a list of successfully hacked victims. You know, I can't believe we live in this timeline, man, where, like, you know, back when I was a kid, back when I was, like, a teenager, hell, shit, back in 2011, 2010, the internet was not this dramatically exciting, okay? It honestly feels like I'm kind of looking at the parody internet of the GTA universe, but in actual reality. The so-called impenetrable systems of the FBI were brought to their knees within hours by our team. No, they were not, actually, because nothing that they hacked came out of the FBI servers, okay? This is a blatant lie, from what I understand from this team, or maybe it's just, at best, the misrepresentation. All personal and confidential information of Kash Patel, including emails, conversations, documents, and even classified files, is now available for public download. Okay. This is the security the U.S. government boasts about? This is the cyber giant who thinks threats and bribes can silence the voice of resistance? Emails, conversations, documents, and even classified files is now available for public download. Okay. This is the security the U.S. government boasts about? This is the cyber giant who thinks threats and bribes can silence the voice of resistance? To the whole world we declare, the FBI is just a name. Behind this name, there is no real security. If your director can be compromised this easily, what do you expect from your lower level employees? So this is kind of like what we call a sort of, what's the best way to do it? It's like kind of it's kind of mind games, actually, right? So to look around, they gave you a download, which they call the proof of concept, so not basically the entire thing. And of course, ultimately, this is images they got, and he looks just like a pretty standard Indian guy to me. Smoking his, smelling his cigars, I guess around jets here. You know, it's just those conversations, documents. And even classified files is now available for public download. Okay. This is the security the U.S. government boasts about? This is the cyber giant who thinks threats and bribes can silence the voice of resistance? To the whole world we declare, the FBI is just a name. Behind this name, there is no real security. If your director can be compromised this easily, what do you expect from your lower level employees? So this is kind of like what we call a sort of, what's the best way to do it? It's like kind of, it's kind of mind games, actually, right? So to look around, they gave you a download, which they call the proof of concept, so not basically the entire thing. And of course, ultimately, this is images they got, and he looks just like a pretty standard Indian guy to me. Smoking his, smelling his cigars, I guess around jets here. You know, it's just...
A little ID in the background. Right there. Let me actually utilize my machine here, since this thing wants to take up that much energy. I found my fupa. Boom.
Just He just looks like a goofy agent to me. So to give an idea, I decided to actually download the files that they basically released, and I'm not going to really show you these files, mostly because these files don't really contain a lot of pertinent information. None of them actually talk about any FBI stuff. Although some of these files actually do contain like images of his children. So I can imagine if this became personal for him, I don't doubt it. Simply because, you know, once you target people's children, right, like all bets are fucking off at this point. But in a lot of ways, some of the stuff just goes around talking about with business, some dealing with his tax photos. Some do just contain shared the address did actually get hit, and they downloaded these EML files and basically shared them for the rest of the world to basically view. Now, I'm not going to show you how to access these, simply because, again, a lot of them do contain images of his children. Some do just contain personal images, and none of it is something that I really want to jump in and signal boost or talk about more than I really have to talk about. So if you go back to Hundala Group, actually these people have been kind of around, not just for a while, but they've been ramping up their operations. This was not just their most prolific hack. Obviously, if you go down the list, they've basically shared, again, links to Telegram, which I'm not going to share with you because ultimately down the road, they've also made claims where they're giving $50 million reward for, you know, the heads of Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, again, it's crazy shit when you read this, right? They basically said, now again, the heads of Donald Trump and are giving up their operations. This was not just their most prolific hack. Obviously, if you go down the list, they've basically shared, again, links to Telegram, which I'm not going to share with you because ultimately down the road, they've also made claims where they're giving $50 million reward for, you know, the heads of Donald Trump and Benjamin Netanyahu. Now, again, it's crazy shit when you read this, right? They basically said they're giving a $50 million reward for people that can actually eliminate. So they've put like actual hitman kind of bounties on this. And you know, the crazy thing is people always talk about like the dark web has crazy shit. This is like on the clear web for a short time before obviously, you know, law enforcement agencies shut them down. Now they did give, you know, IDs for things like Session and Telegram. And I'm just going to tell you guys right now, if you're even thinking of going into this shit for like the hell of it, the jokes, do not do it. First off, I'm doing everything that I've shown you so far in sandboxes and virtual machines. I am taking basically as much precaution as I can dealing with files that these people have distributed. You don't know what kind of malware they're distributing. You don't know what kind of shit that they're distributing on their systems. If you don't know what the fuck you're doing, don't download and do not engage with anything. The fact that these people have claimed to offer $50 million bounties for the head of the US president makes it pretty obvious that if you join any of these, like, you know, Telegram groups, you're probably on a watch list by several US intelligence agencies, okay? The kind of motherfuckers that don't break into your house with handcuffs or whatever. They just come in, put 2 in the chest, 1 in the head, and call it a day. My dumbass probably is on a watch list, but they'll know. It's like this fat ass just talks about computer hacks on the internet, okay? What's your excuse? Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, yeah, the FBI director did in fact get his emails hacked, and there really isn't any other thing about it. Personal emails were leaked out. And ultimately, at the end of the day, there have been pretty massive hacks that these people have done too, which I'll kind of touch upon. So, for instance, Stryker, which for anybody that doesn't know, is a huge company that deals with medical equipment in the United States, right? They actually ended up getting completely breached. And basically, what had happened was their Microsoft their Microsoft like Intune account, which basically is how they distribute applications and how they distribute like these unified endpoints. That ended up getting hacked, and a bunch of employees, basically at 3 in the morning, just had their computers completely like wiped in certain cases, devices wiped, access to their systems gone. And there have actually been lawsuits that have sparked from the employees of Stryker, basically alleging that the company did basically nothing to like protect their social security numbers and everything around it too. But basically, this company was effectively crippled, and it's a company that's not small by any imagination. It's $25 billion in revenue just for 2025. The hackers claimed that they hit 200,000 servers, mobile devices, and stole around 50 terabytes of data from that company's systems, right? So again, these are allegations that they've made, but this is a pretty huge hack, okay? People have been talking about it for days, and the effects of it were still reeling on as I'm speaking and as you're watching this video right now. Now, how good is this hacking group out there? To be real with you, a lot of the stuff that they've been doing is basically jumping in and throwing in wiper malware. So Handala Wiper, for instance, right? Basically, once they get into systems, and they exfiltrate your data just to fuck with you, they're not basically in the market of ransoming your data and taking money out of it, right? A lot of organizations that typically do hacks like this basically do ransomware. So right over here, you can see that on this website, where I have a whole bunch of these ransomware groups, you can actually open any of these, for instance, and basically see that they're in the business of downloading information. And basically they tell you, hey, listen, if you don't give us so-and-so cash, we're going to leak all this information out to grab. So if you don't where I have a whole bunch of these ransomware groups, you can actually open any of these, for instance, and basically see that they're in the business of downloading information. And basically they tell you, hey, listen, if you don't give us so-and-so cash, we're going to leak all this information out to grab. So if you don't give them money, basically they will just give your information out, and anybody can then just download it for consumption. Handala was not doing that. None of this information seems to have actually made it out. If anything, they're kind of just sitting on it if they have it. But what they've done is they've kind of gone out of their way and wiped it from systems. So what this does is it basically just screws up your operation. No amount of insurance, no amount of any of that is going to clear up this kind of headache. So for instance, some of the actual researchers, so from Checkpoint Research, saw that some of their wipers appear to be written with artificial intelligence, which isn't really a shock. One of the scariest things that have been happening recently when it comes to computer hacks, cyber attacks, is that a lot of these hacking groups basically can get in the game just by using LLMs to write their entire malware and scripts. So basically what these guys kind of do is they get LLM models that are obliterated, basically meaning that their guardrails have been taken away. And again, ultimately, they can't say no. The AI is unable to not comply with whatever you're saying. So as soon as they give it a command like, write me a PowerShell malware script that wipes the system completely. I'm not going to show you how to download these LLMs, but basically the LLM will actually just write this for you. Okay, so it'll write a stealth wiping malware. Now, is this going to be effective malware? No. But again, a lot of these hacking groups can take what the LLM made, further refine it, fix it up, basically vibe attack computers over the internet, right? If that's the correct terminology the kids these days use. In fact, even the LLM will start telling you like, hey, here's how you can make it more more stealthy. But again, most LLMs will not basically give you, they'll basically say, hey, listen, attacking people is wrong. I'm not going to help you out. But a lot of these guys just use obliterated models to get away with some pretty spooky crimes, or, well, what crimes can be here. And again, ultimately, at the end of the day, even organizations like CISA have come out and basically said,
March 11th. It's March. Release date March 18th, 2026.
listen, you got to start hardening all of your shit, okay? Because they were talking literally about the actual Stryker attack over here. They mentioned that literally on March 11th, Stryker Corporation was affected by their Microsoft environment. So really a lot of these hacks that kind of end up happening, you know, you find out after the fact, and then basically everyone's just reeling from the aftermath and fallout. Now, there have been even scarier sort of hacks that have kind of happened too with this situation, where Handala has even said that apparently they have 375 terabytes of data. Actually, this might be another apt group right over here. Now, again, there's been other claims as well too. Now, there have been even scarier sort of hacks that have kind of happened too with this situation, where Handala has even said that apparently they have 375 terabytes of data. Actually, this might be another apt group.
300.
Group right over here. Now, again, there's been other claims as well too. Stryker was a pretty huge confirmed attack. One that isn't really confirmed, but one that kind of does freak me out a little bit too, is when they talk about things like Operation Lockheed Martin. For those of you who don't know, Lockheed Martin is one of the largest defense contractors in.
Hey, they. If I can get into Lockheed Martin, bro, that'd good career. Well, Cisco or Lockheed Martin, but Cisco for real.
The fucking United States, okay? They've been responsible for making some of the most elite primo air killing machines the country has ever made. So, for instance, they said they possess the complete data of 28 senior American engineers based in occupied territories.
By the way, anybody from Lockheed Martin or anybody that is associated with anybody that knows anyone with Cisco or that company, Lockheed Martin, you can get in touch with me. We can get in touch with each other. You see my work ethic. We can make it work.
And involved in military projects. So these people who've worked for years in key roles on occupiers' militaries were engaged in critical projects such as the maintenance of F-35s and F-22 fighter jets. This is where people have been saying that they might have gotten access to things like, you know, the F-35 like design schematics, which is the most secretive, fighter jet system in the world, I think, right? Literally a cut above basically what everyone else has. Now, I can't validate the actual truth of this, but it seems like, again, I've blurred everything, but the actual passports and identities of these individuals have sort of been leaked out. And the only one that can really confirm this is, unfortunately, the people that, you know, these people are targeting, or the U.S. government. So, yeah, this is kind of ramping up. And the reality of it is that Iran's cyber hacking teams have kind of just basically taken center stage. They basically become huge, especially this group Handala, which probably is just the Iranian government. And honestly, it might be the only reality of it is that Iran's cyber hacking teams have kind of just basically taken center stage. They basically...
No, it sounds like somebody that from Israel traded teams and went on their side.
Become huge, especially this group Handala, which probably is just the Iranian government. And honestly, it might be the only way for them to fight against the United States in this war, if anything. The U.S. is basically one of the largest armies in the world. I was reading like a statistic, I don't even know if this is true, but apparently like if every country started fighting the U.S. would still win, just because the size and the technical strength of the United States is so high that, you know, if you're starting a war, if you're getting attacked by the U.S., there's a pretty solid chance that you're gonna lose, okay? But this is the only way for the Iranians that they believe that they can fight back. And it's become a situation where cyber attacks are kind of happening. And look, I'm just somebody that likes to sit in my own bubble and call it a day. But in this situation...
Me too.
Situation, right? All I can really tell you is be careful on the internet. You know, be mindful of what sites you interact with, because really we're sitting in a world where this shit is just breaking new ground every single day. It kind of reminds me of like when the Ukraine-Russia war started. There was like a lot of these Ukrainian groups were throwing around like DDoS software that, you know, people could download and help them fight against the Russians. Not saying that that's happening in this situation, right? The Iranians are not releasing software to my knowledge, but, you know, people who downloaded that software in the Ukrainian side, you know, they ended up downloading Russian malware. So this is one of those situations where don't ever get involved in this. Do not touch the poo-poo here.
Correct.
Okay, I'm the guy that's pilfering through the shit and the spooky stuff on the internet to basically show you this stuff as it's happening. But yeah, ladies and gentlemen, beyond the news out there, the FBI director did get hacked. Personal email account only, so...
Told you my alarm went off.
Nothing super secretive from the FBI, okay? This is...
Why?
That's not confirmed yet, okay? Based on what these guys released. And I feel like if they had something, they probably would have shown it in the POC, which they didn't. Obviously,
Like,
the
literally,
FBI
why?
is taking this pretty fucking seriously, as you can imagine. I don't think
Why?
the director is taking this lying down. And, you know, for Alhamdulillah or Iran, you know, attacking things like Stryker and Lockheed Martin puts actual military pressure against them. And I believe, and I can't confirm this for myself, but I think actual operatives have probably been bombed in a campaign as this has been playing out. But yeah, wild shit, man. Insane stuff to look at. If you like what you saw, please like, comment, and subscribe. Dislike it if you dislike it if you learn.
Oh, you got a new video. But 16.
Hello, guys and gals. Me, Mudahar, and I don't know about you guys, but there's been some crazy shit that's been popping off. The Chinese supercomputing lab, well, I believe their largest one, has apparently been hacked with, I would say,
Run that bad.
well, I believe their largest one has the popping off this week. One of that crazy thing is apparently the Chinese supercomputing lab. Well, I believe their largest one has apparently been hacked with, I would say, allegedly the largest amount of data ever stolen. 10 petabytes. Yes, you heard me right, petabytes. Now, you might be like, whoa, how much is a petabyte, Muda?
Whoa.
Well, a petabyte, ladies and
It's
gentlemen, is around,
1,000,
I guess you
or
could
is
say
it a million?
1,000
It's
terabytes.
1,000, okay.
Now, this is an insane
This is-
amount.
yeah,
Now,
no.
if you look at some of the world's
Yeah.
largest data breaches in the world, 10 petabytes from a national supercomputing laboratory is a pretty big amount, and it actually should
Oh,
kind
yeah,
of
no.
shock
This-
you if,
we're about to-
however, it's
this shit's
actually
fucking
real. Now, one thing I
crazy.
like to do on my channel
It's
is
going
get
up.
to the
I love
facts
it.
of a story. Because, you know, this kind of stuff interests me, right? You know what could come out of the Chinese supercomputing labs? Military information, military secrets, some real space...
Y'all, do what I say, please, for the well-being of you and your family or whoever you care close about. Please, de-Googleize. Get your data, can take control over your data. Go and delete your data, whatever, through Google Chrome, all that. I'll literally expose myself to get that done for y'all. Y'all have to get these things off the clouds immediately. They're going to, please, bear my warning, because this is getting crazy.
Age shit that the country is doing that we finally get to peek at, okay? So to give you a quick idea, this is what the National Supercomputer Centers look like, and the specific one was hacked, which was Tianjin. There's also other ones available too, which again, we can go to their websites right here. So yeah, you can see this is like the super
Or maybe this is a play.
supercomputer center in Guangzhou.
Think about it like that. Maybe they're
different city in
playing
China,
around.
but you can see that over here. This is all
Good.
supercomputer stuff that they use to do
Really?
a whole wide variety of high compute shit. Now, supercomputers are very, very expensive, and basically the way that China does it, and to an extent even the US will do this too, is they'll have these like supercomputers set up in locations. So you can see like that's the actual supercomputing center, and it's basically surrounded by, again, basically other important government sections. So very, very highly protected areas. And of course, they are very, very expensive, and they're pretty much a crown jewel for some of these countries too, because there's a lot of serious shit that happens on these systems. So this is what they kind of look like from the outside. So this is actually not entirely new, by the way, too, which is one of the reasons why I wanted to jump a little bit into the story and get all the facts, and why, like, apparently a lot of people were just talking about it just now. So basically, there's this...
I was going to say, my browser should not be that. We don't really trust CNN. And second of all, why would they? How could the information get leaked out if they always? So in China, it's like a they have this wall. So like, you got to use a VP. It's almost impossible to get out that wall to get to the other side of the internet. Hence, that's why I say maybe it's a play. I don't trust CNN. The dataset, which allegedly carries more than 10 petabytes, remember I was telling you guys those Seagates are low? Bro, please do yourself a favor and get some of these. They're only $100. Please do yourself justice. You literally plug this in securely into your device. You could put your iPhone, connect it, take all of your iCloud stuff, all of it, and your device. You don't have 2 terabytes worth of information on your device itself. You shouldn't. If you do, then that means you're utilizing the cloud server. But start stripping it away. Don't cheap out. Seagate's a good company. I'm vouching for them. Barack, whatever that. They're so. I mean, sometimes it works, sometimes you don't. I'm putting my $100 on that, but I want a bigger one. Well, God wants me to have it. I will. But they don't sell those. What is the largest capacity that you can buy? $44. Bro, I really like Seagate. It's a good company. Really reliable too. And we need 1,000. So we're just gonna go 1,000. Track 44. We're missing 956. Okay. And each 44 costs 1,500. We're just gonna say 1,570. Bro, that's a lot of money. It's like almost 100,000. Right? The goal is to reach 956. All right, let's see, 570. And we need 1,000 of them. Now let's see if 1 month. You only can buy 3 at a time because there's only 10 in stock. That's crazy. Yeah, that's not a bad investment though. 22.
Hacking group called Flaming China. Okay, so this is their Telegram group. You can see they've got a cute little AI like slop wallpaper over here. Little Gemini, generate me an angry flaming Dargon. It's got like horse teeth for some reason. China's National Supercomputing Center Research Facility hacked. The data leak contains research across various fields. And again, a lot of this stuff was posted to dark web hacker forums, which again, to give you a quick idea, this is an individual called Airborne Shark 1 sharing 10 petabytes. The research list is not for sale now. Price, whoever offers the most and satisfies me. So I don't know if there's like a monetary mix and you got to give this guy a little handy on the side, but the highest bidder will receive the full data set. Okay? Again, this is the mails that they provided, and they did provide around 20-ish gigabytes of sample data, which is basically all that we can look at. Now, the sample data in this, ladies and gentlemen, is a bit of interest to individuals too. So to give you an idea, they provided some screenshots to prove that they actually hacked this supercomputing like cluster. So here they actually do showcase the domain address, so NSCC TJ, which is, Tianjin, I was thinking of Tijuana for a second, government and CN, and you can see over here that, this is the user IDs, So a lot of this is very important, obviously, for the individuals that have been hacked. Like if they can
Thank you, Heavenly
corroborate that,
Father, for
yeah, these are
that,
user IDs,
this
like this would be the
beautiful,
last
delicious
string of a
food. In
password.
Jesus' name.
And of course, if they can actually see like if these directories make sense. More specifically, they started to show back again route tables, and more specifically what the actual like internal networks started to look like. So again, you can see this is how they're communicating between each different cluster and container and every single thing that would belong to this, supercomputing cluster. So obviously, the only ones that can really corroborate if this happened is the fucking Chinese government. And, recently the Chinese government has had some purges, if you will, too. Like 3 academics were recently, like, purged from the system. People who were pretty old, people who were pretty important. In some cases, there have been actual allegations of bribery and corruption that have been thrown there. But again, these are layers that have yet to truly connect to one another. I'm just going to stick to the actual hack in this situation because that's really what interests me the most. Now, while CNN's kind of talking about this stuff and they're saying, listen, this data set, which allegedly contains 10 petabytes, is actually believed by researchers who are privy to the Chinese government and these Chinese cybersecurity incidents. They're like, yeah, whatever they've shown, the file structures, the directory trees, all of these things tend to be, they tend to make sense. They actually do corroborate this story. Now, I have some suspicions of my own. To give you an idea, 10 petabytes is not a small, minuscule amount of information. To give you an idea, if I have gigabit internet, which I do 1.5 gigabits, I'm just going to go to Fedora's website, for instance. I'm going to download me a copy of this Linux distribution. So by going over here, I'm going to hit that download button, and you can see that I literally can just download it to my system. And, this 2.6 gigabytes alone takes me around 40 seconds to transfer on some of the fastest speeds that I can buy in the country. Now, this is just 2.6 gigabytes taking around a minute. 10 petabytes, which, to remind you, 1 petabyte is like 1,000 terabytes. The time it takes and the money it takes to transfer that level of information is not a paltry amount, okay? Bandwidth limits, just the transferring of data alone, it's subject to the laws of fucking mankind, the laws of physics, all of this shit, okay? So it's going to take some time, and ultimately what's also important too is the cost as well. Now, assuming that this is 10 terabytes, if you just look up disk prices really quickly, you can see that the cheapest you can go is 24.5 per terabyte, which is 22 terabytes, and you can buy this Seagate drive right-ins, for instance. It's 22 terabytes, and it's like $538 Canadian. So in Canadian prices, if you kind of just do the fucking math really quickly, and if you do the Jaguar math here, how many bits is this? Let's just say like if we put 1,000 terabytes into roughly 22, you're looking at 44.5, 40. Is it 44? Whatever, dude, 44, and then
Add the
multiply
conversion.
that by around. Yeah, you're looking at, ladies and gentlemen, you're looking at around $250,000 to fucking buy the drives it takes. Not even counting the money it takes to transfer the data and fucking store it. You know what I mean? So I'm having a bit of doubt, wondering sometimes. One of the reasons why, like, I'm always down to download these things and pilfer through them, but I don't have the drive space.
Sounds like
obviously,
bait.
to even store half the fucking petabyte, okay? And half is like already astronomical for me. So the fact that they moved this information, you're looking at like $250,000, and that's just one stripe of information. You probably want to have something for redundancy because it's such a valuable set of info. Probably looking at like what? The costs for this are fucking astronomical, which makes me wonder how legitimate this is. But you might ask yourself the question, but Nuda, how did the Chinese government not know that they were getting fucked in the ass? Well, apparently, according to the fellas over at CNN, the way that this was actually done was through a botnet. So basically, how the attacker got into the
Some of y'all
supercomputer
for
in the
this.
first place was they found
A lot of y'all
compromised
for that.
VPN domain. Now, a VPN is not just for you to change your address and go somewhere else. A lot of it is also meant for you to
Free money
expose a
right there.
sensitive computer and basically create like a
April
tunnel
1st.
for somebody outside the network to access. So for instance, let's say that you worked at the Chinese supercomputing lab and you needed
this is fun. This is looking fun. Ooh, a lot of y'all can get in that. A lot. Ooh.
To get access from your home. Well, they're not going to expose all the servers to the internet for everybody to start fucking like identifying.
All right, you
or grabbing.
guys.
What they'll
It's
do
about
is
my
they'll
time.
expose a few nodes to
We
the
had a great
outside
time and a
world,
long
and
time.
basically these nodes, which allow you to
I don't
VPN
know
into
how
them,
long
allow
I've
you to
been
connect into
streaming.
them, and
It's
become
been
part
some
of
hours,
the
been
internal network,
hours.
the internal private network, the
I have some
virtual
security
private
stuff
network.
to go do,
You're allowed at that
and
point to
mainly
then
duties
connect
to go
from the
do.
outside in through a controlled gateway and access the sensitive parts of the of this network. Now it makes you wonder too. It's like, A,
Over.
this is 10 petabytes of
Morning.
information. It already costs so much to transit. And how the fuck did the Chinese like operators who ran this not understand? Remember, this is a supercomputing
Probably
like
stream
hub.
tomorrow
Okay,
afternoon.
this ain't some random company. Okay, this is the Chinese government. So it makes me wonder how 10 terabytes of information was exfiltrated without it effectively like bringing up any form of like red flags. So, for instance, once they got access through this VPN, the hackers used what is known as a botnet, basically meaning that they got like bringing up any form of like red flags. So, for instance, once they got access through this VPN, the hackers used what is known as a botnet, basically meaning that they had a bunch of different computers grabbed underneath their wing, and through these computers, they were able to use these computers to download a vast amount of information, 10 petabytes. So again, they did this over the course of 6 months. So for 6 months, they had access to these Chinese supercomputers. Nothing was done with the security, like rotating things around. No, they were just in the system. They were downloading all this shit, and by the end of it, they just put it up on the internet for it to be sold. And again, the information that they allege is being sold is a kind of information that the CIA or the Chinese equivalent to the CIA basically kicks down your door and puts a round in your head. Like, I'm sorry to make it sound so Hollywoodish, but the reality of it is that if you're holding on to information that contains military state secrets, bro, the government don't fucking care about sending you to a court, okay? They'll just straight up kill you at that point. Which is a pretty serious situation, and it's one of the things that has made me slightly apprehensive of downloading this. But again, this all happened back in February, so I'm starting to wonder why it's taken so long for a lot of these organizations to kind of catch up. And again, I would have covered this back in February if I had actually believed that the information was valid. In a lot of ways, the information that has been pulled apart is kind of just report papers. So some people have done great technical deep dives into the information, the sample data, and a lot of it has, information like this where they're looking at things like the B-52 bomber system, and they're trying to, I guess, identify how it's able to be a stealth aircraft. Which, for anybody that doesn't know, I think it's not B-52, it's the B-2
That's us.
Spirit bomber. It's like $2 billion a piece, and apparently
That's us. That's
radar
us.
systems are just very unable to identify this. And basically, if this is flying near your ways and you're seeing the pixels missing from the sky, God is going to be in your vision very soon. But anyways, a whole bunch of extra information came
that's
out.
funny.
Again, people started looking through. They found things like the aero stealth systems. They found a whole bunch of aircraft designs that could theoretically be used to counter America's stealth capabilities. Again, I wasn't entirely able to look through this information myself too, But again, there was more information too, like for instance, these clips of like military vehicles. Maybe find stuff on the internet, pull it together, and try.
All right. Well, do as I say. I'll do my part. You do your part. Give me the rest of the day. I gotta do some things here. Security things. I'll start processing that video on how to de-Google or how to first go through Google and see how much data you've been given them and how all that, which is going to expose more of my data. But at this point, it doesn't even matter. I'll risk it for y'all. I'll risk it all for you. Like Bruno Mars said. I love y'all. I really do. I really do. I had a great time streaming. We had a good amount of information. Incognito it's not a real thing. You see that? Oh, we're playing. We're playing. Daddy needs to go play. I'll be back. I'll be back later. I love you. 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 I love you.